This page is the vibrant front cover of SEGA Saturn magazine, prominently featuring the title logo and two dynamic anime-style characters in the foreground. The cover highlights upcoming game announcements and information, spanning both the SEGA Saturn and the soon-to-be-released Dreamcast. Key coverage includes news on Dreamcast RPGs like Climax Landers, and titles such as Sonic Adventure, D2, and Blue Stinger. The popular simulation series, Let's Make a Soccer Team, Sakatsuku, and Let's Make a Baseball Team, Yakutsuku, are announced. There are features on new titles from publishers like Ubisoft, mentioning Rayman 2 and Speedbusters, and Data East with their game Revive. The magazine also covers various SEGA Saturn titles, including Martian successor Nadesico, Mobile Suit Gundam Giran's Ambition, and several visual novels/dating sims. The cover also teases a report from the 1998 AM show and an interview related to Dead or Alive 2. The artwork suggests a focus on adventure and possibly RPG genres. This page features the distinctive orange Dreamcast logo at the top left. The main focus is large Japanese text that reads, "Pray," which translates to, "Congratulations, Senior Managing Director Yukawa." A partial image of a person in a suit, presumably Mr. Yukawa himself, is visible on the right side. This page is a direct congratulatory message, likely acknowledging a milestone or success related to the upcoming Dreamcast console, given Mr. Yukawa's prominent role in its Japanese marketing campaign. This page is a promotional piece centered around Sega's Senior Managing Director, Hidekazu Yukawa. Leading up to the Tokyo Game Show 98 autumn, Mr. Yukawa delivers a message of gratitude and determination, stating he still has much to do but is full of motivation, heading to Makuhari on October 10th and 11th without rest to show everyone something amazing, supported by his family. The highlight is the confirmation that the Dreamcast will finally be available to touch and try at the event. Visitors can get hands-on with the highly anticipated new console, including some unannounced software titles. The show is scheduled for October 10th and 11th at Makuhari Messe. Attendees can also find merchandise for popular series like Sakura Taisen and Sonic, along with unique goods featuring Mr. Yukawa himself. This page features a striking image of a crying horse against a backdrop of a rising sun, with a wooden fence in the foreground. Vertical Japanese text is prominently displayed on the left, which reads, this translates to, "Japan has Derby Stallion." Debista is the widely recognized abbreviation for the highly popular horse racing simulation game series, Derby Stallion. Dramatic imagery paired with the declaration emphasizes the significance and emotional connection the series holds in Japan. Given the context of the previous page discussing Sega's presence at TGS 98 and the upcoming Dreamcast, this serves as a powerful statement about the enduring popularity of the series, potentially hinting at future developments on Sega platforms. This page dramatically announces the arrival of the highly anticipated Derby Stallion on the SEGA Saturn. The striking image captures the raw emotion associated with horse racing, showing a man in racing silks with tears of joy or sorrow streaming down his face beside a horse. The large text declares, "This autumn, that emotion is coming to SEGA Saturn." The page highlights the key features of the SEGA Saturn version, emphasizing its realism as a racehorse racing simulation. Notably, this version supports a full field of 18 horses for the first time in the series, and incorporates the 98 fiscal year racing program data, promising an authentic experience. Created by series mastermind Hiroyuki Sonobe, Derby Stallion allows players to breed, train, and race horses, aiming for glory. Small screenshots provide a glimpse of the in-game race view. The game is set to release this autumn for 6,800 yen, excluding tax, and features convenient autosaving to both the console's internal RAM and cartridge RAM during gameplay. This release brings the celebrated series to a Sega platform, leveraging its deep popularity among Japanese gamers. This page is the table of contents for this issue, clearly highlighting the magazine's pivot towards the upcoming Dreamcast console. Despite retaining the SEGA Saturn magazine title, the central focus is demonstrating that the Dreamcast is fully operational, with articles detailing a presentation by Dr. Sato, and the significant announcement of 38 companies pledging support for the new platform. A large section is dedicated to new Dreamcast game reveals and features. You'll find previews and articles on titles like the popular Tsukuro series, bringing J-League Soccer and Pro Baseball simulations to the console, the RPGS Evolution, World of Sacred Device and Climax Landers, known as Time Stalkers internationally. The highly anticipated Sonic Adventure, the fast-paced Sega Rally 2, and survival horror titles like Blue Stinger and July. The iconic horror sequel, D2, is also featured. There's a special feature on Ubisoft, highlighting their commitment to the Dreamcast, with titles like Rayman 2, The Great Escape, and Speedbusters, alongside an interview with President Yves Guillemot, signaling Ubi's focus on the Japanese market. The page also previews the Tokyo Game Show 98 Autumn, where attendees would get their first hands-on experience with the Dreamcast. The overall tone is one of excitement and anticipation for Sega's next console generation, featuring a confused or surprised mascot character illustration on the right. This magazine index serves as a comprehensive guide to the issue's content, covering both Sega Saturn and Dreamcast games. The Saturn section includes reviews of new releases like Girl Doll Toy and guides for games such as Martian successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years. A Coming Soon section previews anticipated titles. The Dreamcast received significant attention, with features on games like Evolution, Sonic Adventure, and Sega Rally 2. A special report focuses on Dead or Alive 2, including developer interviews and Naomi arcade board insights, highlighting the console's arcade roots. Coverage of the 1998 AM show, showcasing arcade and upcoming console games, further emphasizes the Dreamcast's promising future. The dynamic cover art sets the visual tone, guiding readers through the diverse selection of games and features. This page announces the official release date for the Sega Dreamcast in Japan, setting it for November 27th. A slight delay from the previously planned November 20th. The change was made to ensure optimal production and distribution to meet the high demand and expectations from users. The article notes strong developer support, with 32 Japanese companies and around 100 overseas developers already committed to releasing titles around the system's launch. Also featured is the announcement of a new karaoke machine called Prologue 21 Dream Song, which is built upon the Dreamcast hardware. This machine leverages the power of the DC board, supporting features like visual memory and linking with DC and Naomi arcade systems, and includes DVD capabilities for song content. It was showcased at the 98 Karaoke Festa and is slated for a mid-99 release. Finally, the page reports on the popular Sega Saturn Festa event series. The 19th event recently took place, featuring Shining Force 2i Scenario 3. The major news is that the 20th event, scheduled for October 18th, will be the grand finale, marking the end of the long-running festival. The last game to be highlighted at the final event will be Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yugi, and readers are encouraged to attend and see Sagata Sanshiro himself bid farewell to the series. The images show the Dreamcast console, the new karaoke machine, and scenes from the Sega Saturn Festa events, including attendees and key figures like the Takahashi brothers. Get ready for Sakura Wars. The Sakura Wars song show is returning on video and Laserdisc, featuring the second Hanagumi performance and voice actor interviews, including Chisa Yokoyama. Sega's Joyopolis amusement centers are hosting Happy Halloween events, with spooky activities and deals. Koei celebrates its 20th anniversary, expanding beyond simulation games with RPG and action titles. Idol Mie Kuribayashi is on tour for her third single, and a new Marcus store opened in Matsudo, specializing in character goods, celebrating with a large voice actor event for Sentimental Graffiti. Lastly, there's a look at a new Hitachi DVHS video deck with a built-in CS digital tuner. This page shows Konami diving headfirst into the portable LCD game market, launching a wave of new electronic toys starting in October. The flagship title is Dungeon Quest Chapter 1, Shion's Adventure, a full-fledged RPG planned to span 4 chapters in this portable format. Konami is also releasing a Game Boy communication case called GB Getter that uses infrared signals for player interactions, a cool character list game, wristwatch featuring popular characters from Tokimeki Memorial that even reacts to body temperature, and a quirky banana-shaped communication tool called Telepathy Catcher. Adding to the portable lineup is a version of the popular arcade game Beat Mania, shrunk down into a handheld LCD unit. The bottom section highlights various music releases from a range of Japanese artists, covering different genres, and including singles and albums. This page focuses on the legendary Sagata Sanshiro, highlighting the upcoming PC title, Sagata Sanshiro, The Legend of the Superstar, which was released alongside the Saturn game, Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yugi, on October 29th. While Shinken Yugi is a collection of minigames, The Legend of the Superstar is described as a detailed database centered around Sagata himself, aiming to establish him as an independent, modern hero. The page features striking images of Sagata Sanshiro and a SEGA Saturn console. It delves into the PC games content, which includes various sections like the Sanshiro Museum, showcasing different facets of his persona and activities, including even a miniature Likachan Sanshiro house. An interview with the producer reveals the game's core concept was to create a product treating Sagata as a standalone character, capturing his image and impact. The producer mentions that they focused on what fans of Sagata would appreciate most, including new images and audio specifically created for this PC version, promising a fresh look at the icon. This title appears to be less of a traditional game and more of an interactive archive, celebrating the phenomenon that is Sagata Sanshiro. This page provides a preview of the Tokyo Game Show 98 Autumn, highlighting the major attractions of the event held at Makuhari Messe on October 10th and 11th. It notes the show's growth, featuring 92 companies and over 1480 booths, establishing it as a premier game event. A major focus is Sega's large presence in Hall 2, centered around the highly anticipated Dreamcast console and its launch lineup, including prominent titles like Sonic Adventure. Building on the previous page's theme, Sagata Sanshiro is heavily featured, not only through merchandise, but also a planned Sega Band live performance, underscoring his continued importance to the brand. The event also dedicates Hall 7 entirely to merchandise, allowing attendees to grab exclusive goods from various publishers. Sega is offering a range of Sagata Sanshiro items there. Other publishers are also highlighted for their exclusive goods, such as Konami with Tokimeki Memorial items, Banpresto featuring Super Robot Wars merchandise, NEC Interchannel offering Teleka cards of popular characters, and especially selling goods for RPGs like Grandia and Lunar. The page emphasizes that these exclusive items are a significant draw for fans. The Tokyo Game Show 98 Autumn promises a vibrant experience. The main stage, live-streamed online, features public radio recordings, live music by Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra and Hironobu Kageyama, and talk shows with industry figures like Yuji Korakado and Hideo Kojima, hinting at new game reveals. The Tokyo Game Awards ceremony also takes place here. Publisher booths offer a diverse range of events. Atlas hosts Thousand Arms tournaments, while Compile focuses on Puyo Puyo. Capcom showcases rival schools, 03, Resident Evil 2, and Mega Man X4 on PCSNK highlights the Neo Geo Pocket. Koei has Angelique voice actor events, and Bandai offers Mobile Suit Gundam games and teases a new console announcement. Other publishers like CYC, Jaleco, Data East, Pioneer LDC, Ubisoft Messiah, and MediaWorks contribute with tournaments, voice actor appearances, and potential new game reveals, making the show a must-attend event. This page is the SEGA Saturn magazine's weekly shop data section, presenting the top 10 best-selling Saturn games based on sales data from collaborating stores. It also includes commentary on the current state of the Saturn software market. Topping the charts this week is the brand new simulation RPG Tsukuru, a game creation tool that lets players easily build their own RPGs, coming in strong at number 1. Following at second is Slayers Royal 2, the latest entry in the Slayers RPG series, which dropped from its previous top spot. Making a big splash at number 3 is the highly anticipated Suikoden from Konami, another new release this week. Rounding out the top 10 are other notable titles, including Backgun Loader, Ojo-sama wo Nere, Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, Pro Yaku Greatest 998 Summer Action, Falcom Classics, Shining Force 2i Scenario 2, and the classic shooter, Dodonpachi. The page also includes a detailed release schedule, listing many upcoming Sega Saturn titles with their planned release dates, prices, publishers, genres, and other relevant information, showing what's on the horizon for Saturn fans. The Sega Saturn User Data Top 20 showcases anticipated games based on user interest. Gouge titles are popular, with the Sagata Sanshiro game rising in the rankings. Key highlights include Sakura Wars Taigeki Graph at number 1, with 320 points, and Falcom Classics 2 at 13. A surprise entry, Real Mahjong Adventure Umi-e Summer Waltz, is already complete. Other highly ranked titles include Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, Virtua Cop Sense, and anticipated games like Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. The rankings also reflect user interest in series like Biohazard and Sonic the Fighters. The page also features detailed information on numerous upcoming Sega Saturn games, including release dates, prices, and genre classifications, alongside explanations of compatible peripherals. This page presents the weekly SEGA Saturn Readers Race, a ranking based entirely on votes from readers like you, covering all 1081 release Saturn games as of October 2nd. It's a great resource to gauge player satisfaction with the current library. Topping the charts this week is Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, followed by A Girl Who Chants Love at the Bound of This World. Shining Force 2i Scenario 2 holds the third spot, showcasing the continued dominance of strategy, RPGs, and adventure games among players. Notably, Shining Force 2i Scenario 3 made a strong debut, entering directly at number 3, indicating high praise from players upon its release. The commentary highlights volatility among mid-tier popular titles, suggesting dynamic shifts in reader opinions week to week. The visuals feature screenshots, including one that appears to be from Shining Force 2i's and another from a fighting game, visually representing the diverse genres celebrated in the rankings. This ranking offers a real-time look at which released games are resonating most with Saturn owners right now. This SEGA Saturn Readers Race ranking presents player-voted game ratings across various genres. New releases are highlighted, including 2 Pradal disc video collections with high reader scores. New One, praised for its graphics but criticized for repetitive gameplay, earned a lower magazine score than its reader average. Wonder 3/Arcade Gears, a collection of classic arcade games, was well received. Other new releases include Pachinko Hall, a simulation game praised for its unique scope. Olympic Soccer, lacking real player names, received a mixed score. NBA Jam Extreme, appreciated for its visuals, was criticized for missing players and long loading times, showing a score discrepancy. Virtual Mahjong, despite quick computer thinking, received a low score due to lengthy loading times and slow pacing. This page features a spotlight on the game Darkstalkers 3, reviewed by Jan. The game, developed by Capcom and released on April 16, 1998, is highlighted for its successful port using the 4 MB expansion RAM. The review discusses its accessibility, making it easy for newcomers to enjoy with simple chain combos and protective maneuvers like the Advanced Guard, while still offering significant depth for experienced players. The unique and visually striking characters from the Darkstalkers series, like Dimitri and Morrigan shown in the screenshots, contribute to dynamic and deep battles. The article also includes reader comments praising the port quality and use of the RAM cartridge, but mentioning desires for additional modes and noting character balance issues. A message from the development staff expresses satisfaction with the port and encourages players to experience the game. The page also continues the reader ranking list from the previous pages, showing scores for various SEGA Saturn titles. This page continues the Oz Chart D, a comprehensive reader ranking of SEGA Saturn games. It lists numerous titles from various genres like action, RPG, sports, fighting, and puzzle games, along with their average reader scores. The rankings provide a snapshot of popular and well-regarded games according to the magazine's readership at the time. Below the ranking charts, a small article poses the question, why are the Deathmask characters getting too disnalized? Is the rumor true? Accompanying this text is a screenshot of a 2D side-scrolling or fighting game set in a jungle environment, featuring character sprites that align with the style of the Deathmask series. The article seems to be discussing rumors or speculation about the future direction of the Deathmask franchise, particularly concerning a potential shift or inclusion of its characters in 2D formats, contrasting perhaps with previous 3D appearances, and questioning the validity of these reports. This echoes recent discussions about the appeal and viability of 2D fighters on the Saturn. This magazine page focuses on upcoming software, starting with reviews. Simulation RPG Maker received a 6.66, Suikoden a 7.0, Murakoshi Masami no Bakutsuri Nippon Retu a 7.66, and Those Who Hunt Elves 2 a 6.33. Reader comments touch on anticipated games, including Dreamcast speculation. The page also includes a chart ranking SEGA Saturn peripherals based on reader scores. It actively recruits for the SEGA Saturn Reader Race, encouraging submissions of reviews, comments, and predictions. 2 prediction games are highlighted: guessing the debut ranking of Welcome to Piakara 2, and predicting the reader average score for Mobile Suit Gundam, Girin's Greed Strategy Guide. Prizes for participants are detailed with previous winners listed. Dreamcast Magazine Volume 7, A free, provisional first issue, hyped the console's impending launch, the October 16, 1998. Cover, featuring anime-style characters from Evolution, World of Sacred Device, promised weekly Dreamcast updates. Inside the magazine teased a Dreamcast data station, sports simulations like Let's Make a J.League Pro Soccer Club and Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team, and a presentation confirming the console's functionality. A wave of third-party licensees was highlighted, including games like Sonic Adventure, Sega Rally 2, D2, and Blue Stinger. Ubisoft titles, such as Rayman 2, were also announced. This issue served as a robust advertisement for the Dreamcast's diverse launch lineup and strong third-party support, mentioning developers like Especially and Sting. This page is the Dreamcast data station, counting down 56 days until the console's launch. It highlights the rapidly expanding lineup of games and participating developers, expressing excitement for the rich selection available from launch day onwards, including arcade ports using the Naomi board. The User Data Top 10 lists the most anticipated titles according to reader surveys. Virtua Fighter 3 TB sits at number 1, followed by Sonic Adventure and Sega Rally 2, showing strong interest in Sega's key franchises and arcade conversions. The list also features titles like D2, Blue Stinger, and Evolution, reflecting diverse genre appeal. The comprehensive table details upcoming Dreamcast titles with their planned release dates, prices, publishers, genres, and VMS compatibility. This includes a mix of launch titles and games scheduled for late 1998 and into 1999, confirming the breadth of titles expected, from RPGs and action games to simulations and racing. The pickup title section specifically spotlights Virtua Fighter 3 TB, showing a screenshot of Akira Yuki. Its top ranking and high point total underscore its anticipation. The page also previews Evolution, World of Sacred Device, and Climax Landers, confirming these RPGs are coming soon with accompanying screenshots. This demonstrates the growing momentum towards the Dreamcast launch and the promising software library. This page features the Dreamcast data station's Transplant Wishlist User Data Top 20, detailing the games users most want to see ported to the Dreamcast. This list is topped by the Sakura Wars series, followed by Cybertroopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, and the Final Fantasy series, indicating strong desire for popular titles from the Saturn and PlayStation eras, as well as arcade hits. The list includes diverse genres like RPGs, fighting games, and racing titles, with notable entries like Gran Turismo, Resident Evil, and Nights into Dreams making the top 20. Small sections highlight Sakura Wars and Virtualon with screenshots and a realization rate, suggesting the likelihood of these ports happening. Below that is the Video Game Top 15 Shop Data, which ranks the top arcade games based on data from various arcades. Virtua Striker 2 version 98 and Virtua Fighter 3 TB hold the top spots, showing the continued dominance of Sega's popular arcade titles. The section also draws attention to Dead or Alive 2, noted for its recent public unveiling. The 1 Point Check Game section highlights upcoming or currently popular arcade titles: JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, a new racing game titled Race On, and the highly popular timing-based rhythm game Dance Dance Revolution. This page delivers exciting news for simulation fans. It's been officially announced that new entries in both the Let's Make a Soccer Club's Sakatsuku and Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team Yakutsuku series are coming to Dreamcast. The page showcases screenshots of the games, highlighting the graphical improvements expected on the new hardware. Comments from the development team confirm they are aiming for a complete game, incorporating fan feedback from the Saturn titles and leveraging the Dreamcast's power for better graphics and more detailed simulation elements, including a new two-division system for baseball. They emphasize that this generation will truly fulfill fan dreams. Both titles are targeting a 1999 release, with other details still pending. This page focuses on a crucial moment for the Sega Dreamcast, a media presentation confirming the console's functionality and readiness for mass production. The headline boldly declares, "Dreamcast, I will prove that it is working properly." The page highlights that the prototype has finally been revealed, with mass production just around the corner for the planned November 27th launch. Rumors about production delays are addressed head-on by Managing Executive Officer Hideki Sato, who led the presentation at Sega headquarters. He demonstrated the Dreamcast reading data from a disc, confirming the hardware is progressing well. A key highlight was a demo of the highly anticipated Sonic Adventure running live on the system, providing visual proof of the console's capabilities. The presentation also touched upon the new media, hinting at the GIDROM and VMU, which would replace the modem and KIDROM from previous generations. This page assures readers that development is entering its final stages and provides key insights into the Dreamcast's progress directly from SEGA. This page dives deep into the technical heart of the Dreamcast, featuring the headline, "The aim is to completely surpass previous game consoles." The text explains the console's development concept centers on play and communication, aiming to provide a platform for both through its hardware, including the built-in modem and VMU. It highlights that the prototype shown is very close to the final production model, and notes the inclusion of a cooling fan, a first for a home console, described as remarkably quiet. The page presents the core specifications, mentioning the SEGA CPU, the PowerVR 2 graphics engine capable of 3 million polygons per second, a total of 26 megabytes of memory, and a Yamaha-developed sound processor. Dedicated sections elaborate on each of these key components. The SEGA CPU from Hitachi is lauded for balancing high performance and cost-effectiveness, partly thanks to its cutting-edge manufacturing process. The memory configuration is emphasized as being significantly larger than the Saturn's, with data compression techniques effectively expanding the usable space, though it notes the absence of an expansion slot. The PowerVR 2 graphics chip, a collaboration between Videologic and NEC, is highlighted for its advanced effects and claimed performance leap over previous consoles. Finally, the sound section details the partnership with Yamaha, utilizing a powerful sound processor that supports standards like XG, promising high-quality audio experiences. This page continues the deep dive into the Dreamcast hardware, shifting focus to connectivity and peripherals. The developers emphasize the versatility of the 4 controller ports, stating they aren't solely for 4-player gaming, but are designed to accommodate a variety of peripherals simultaneously, such as a keyboard, mouse, voice recognition microphone, or even a camera, anticipating future gameplay needs. The controller itself is detailed, featuring a standard directional pad alongside an analog stick, face buttons, A, B, X, Y, and shoulder buttons, L, R. It supports a high number of inputs and analog axes, and notably includes 2 slots for add-ons, like the Visual Memory Unit, VMU. The VMU is highlighted as the primary method for saving game data, kept conveniently in the player's hand. An interesting point is the lack of a physical reset button on the console itself, suggesting soft resets via button combinations on the controller will be the standard. The Visual Memory Unit, or VMU, is given its own section, described as essential for game data backup and portable data exchange. The article explains the choice of a direct contact connection over wireless methods like infrared, citing the need for reliable, accurate, and high-speed data transfer without conversion loss. It's noted that the VMU was already appearing in stores, sometimes in conjunction with specific software like Atsumete Godzilla, encouraging players to experience its functionality. This page dives into the Dreamcast's disc format, finally revealing details about the high-density type media, introducing the GigaDROM, or Gigabyte Disc ROM. It boasts a massive 1 gigabyte capacity, effectively doubling the storage available on a standard KDROM. The article explains the choice to use this proprietary format over DVD, citing cost, particularly for the pickup mechanism and surrounding hardware, and the lack of a mature development environment for DVD at the time as key reasons. Adopting GigaDROM also provides inherent copy protection, as existing PC CD-ROM drives cannot read the data. A significant technical highlight is the drive's use of constant angular velocity (CAV) technology, a first for game consoles. Unlike the constant linear velocity (CLV) drives found in systems like the Saturn, where rotation speed varied, CAV maintains a constant rotation speed. This drastically reduces seek times, allowing for much faster data access, a crucial factor for game loading and streaming. The drive operates at a maximum 12x speed, offering a notable leap over previous console drives. Development disks, like the Saturn CDR as shown, are mentioned as tools for repeated testing during the process. This page focuses on the Dreamcast's communication capabilities, specifically highlighting the included modem and its various features. It proudly declares that when considering the quality of general telephone lines at the time, 33.6 kilobits per second offered the most reliable connection, a speed the Dreamcast modem fully supports, along with versus 0.42 error correction and MNP5 data compression for stable and efficient data transfer. The design choice to make the modem removable is emphasized as a forward-thinking decision, allowing users to easily upgrade to future standards like ISDN by swapping it out for a terminal adapter when the infrastructure becomes more prevalent. SEGA is noted for its history of offering modems as options, and their decision to include one as standard on the Dreamcast underscores the console's ambition for connected gameplay experiences. The page also details the rear ports, identifying a serial port whose exact function was initially unconfirmed, but speculated to be similar to the SEGA Saturn serial port, which was used for various peripherals like console-to-console connections, printers, and MIDI devices. The possibility of supporting Windows C-based peripherals or USB devices is raised, although the connector was different from standard USB. Finally, the standard multi-AV terminal is discussed, a single connector handling composite, SVideo, RGB, and audio output, lauded for its improved design reducing connection issues. The console notably features a built-in power supply, a compact design choice. 4 months after its announcement, the Dreamcast's presence is growing, fueled by TV commercials. Support from software developers is rapidly expanding. SEGA announced 38 new domestic licensees on September 21st, bringing the total to 321 domestic and approximately 100 overseas companies. The report features a detailed list of these licensees, color-coded, to indicate new and existing participants. Numerous major publishers and developers are involved, with tentative game titles spanning various genres. Anticipated titles include RPGs, action, simulation, fighting games, potentially a King of Fighters title, racing, Monaco Grand Prix, Speedbusters, puzzle, sports, and adventure games, Blue Stinger, D2. Other notable titles mentioned are Elemental Gimmick Gear and Rayman 2. The report also contains interviews with licensees. This page announces that 38 companies have declared their participation on the Dreamcast Entertainment platform, with an additional 100 game titles also being revealed. The article features a reader poll titled, Reader's Choice, Desired Participating Manufacturer Top 20, showcasing which developers the audience most wanted to see support the console. Square and Namco lead the list, followed by Game Arts, Elf, Capcom, and Enix among the top 10. The text discusses how many of these highly desired developers, such as Banpresto and Capcom, are indeed joining the platform, suggesting a positive response to player expectations. A screenshot from Resident Evil 2 is included, indicating Capcom's involvement, though it's noted as being from the PlayStation version. The image features Leon S. Kennedy and Ada Wong, with Leon stating, "Listen Ada, protecting you is my mission." 35 companies are developing for the Sega Dreamcast. ASC2 will focus on original titles, Atlas promises unique games, and Imagineer emphasizes the console's specs, especially as collaborating with Sega on an RPG, Evolution, World of Sacred Device. Zing is also developing, while Culture Brain is excited about the Dreamcast's communication features and plans to release Flying Dragon, a fighting game, and is considering simultaneous release with the Naomi arcade board. Producer Yoshisuke Adachi praises the console's development capabilities and efficiency. Kagatech/Naxat aims to bring network gaming to a wider audience, and Kadokawa Shootin' plans multimedia expansions for series like Slayers and Lunar. Several companies are developing games for the Dreamcast. Quest is considering its direction. Climax is enthusiastic about the console's power and developing Climax Landers. Koei is drawn to the communication capabilities and Windows CE, planning network games based on titles like Nobunaga's Ambition. Konami is developing games aiming to impress core users and broaden appeal. Genki and Compile are newly involved, with Compile planning announcements for the Tokyo Game Show. SEGA is working on an action puzzle game utilizing communication features. Sega's PR manager highlights the Dreamcast's potential, while a Konami director emphasizes expanding software for consumer platforms. Several companies are developing games for the Dreamcast, each with unique goals. Cry is creating graphically intensive titles like Air Dancing and Great Bugger. C-Lab plans communication-focused games. Japan Corporation aims for realistic player character distance. Daikoku Denki, leveraging its network experience, will blend communication and games. Shuei System will focus on network multiplayer. Starlight Mary is developing an adventure game, while Takara sees potential but is cautious. Taito will leverage its communication expertise. Data East seeks high visual expression using the Dreamcast's features. Nihon Busan sees the Dreamcast as a more accessible platform. Yoshihiro Suzuki from SEGA emphasizes the importance of SEGA's strong software support to encourage third-party developers. This page continues the look at companies announcing their support for the Dreamcast. Victor Interactive Software, led by Deputy Manager Yoshiaki Iwasawa, programmer of the Saturn's excellent Dungeon Master Nexus, is developing an original robot simulation game aiming for fall 1999. They plan to use the VMU as a sub-monitor for unique gameplay features like dynamic battlefield changes and zoomable areas, leveraging the Dreamcast's power for a fresh take on strategy. Other companies featured include Bandai, confirming a new Mobile Suit Gundam game is in development, though details are scarce. Pulse Interactive is on board due to the increased memory capacity. Human is focusing on delivering quality sports titles like the Superfire Pro Wrestling Series. Bing Kids plans to utilize the VMU and communication features, finally responding to requests and preparing to release titles. Bottom Up is venturing onto Sega hardware for the first time, with games like Entertainment Golf and Dai Sumo, showcasing their shift from primarily Nintendo development. Messiah promises to listen to fan feedback for their direction, known for series like Langrisser and Chao Aniki. Warashi, known for shooting games like Shenryu, is excited about the hardware specs and Naomi board integration, teasing Shenryu 2. Media Ring and Riverhill Soft are also expressing their support and planning new software for the platform. This page focuses on the game Evolution for the Dreamcast. It features the game's title prominently, along with the Japanese katakana title. The page defines evolution, with points relating to development, progress, growth, and the emission of energy, hinting at the game's themes. Artwork shows the main characters, including Mag and Linear, in a distinctive vehicle, while screenshots provide glimpses into the isometric combat and exploration seen in the game, featuring character battles against various enemies like tanks. The images suggest a dungeon-crawling RPG with unique character designs and settings. The copyright mentions Sega Enterprises, especially, and Sting, indicating Sting is involved in the development. This page announces the arrival of Evolution, a legitimate, or authentic, RPG for the Dreamcast. The article highlights that this is the first original RPG for the console, and fulfills the demand from players wanting a traditional role-playing experience. Developed by Sting, known for titles like Baroque and Treasure Hunter Big, and produced by Especially, the game promises to utilize the Dreamcast's hardware capabilities with impressive 3D CG visuals, aiming to open up new frontiers in graphical expression for the genre. Described as a full-fledged adventure RPG suitable for a wide range of players, Evolution is positioned as the first entry from Especially and Sting on the Dreamcast platform. Screenshots showcase the battle interface with options like attack, defend, move, and wait, along with character portraits for Mag and Linear showing their health and other stats, all within an isometric perspective. The game was scheduled for release at the end of the year, with the price undecided, and is confirmed to be a single-player experience. Anticipation was clearly high for this early Dreamcast RPG offering. This page delves further into the world of Evolution, World of Sacred Device, highlighting its unique setting. It describes an era where people fly in iron vehicles and live alongside machines, a mechanical civilization full of adventure and hope, much like something out of a Jules Verne novel, distinct from typical sword and magic fantasies. The page features various screenshots showcasing the game's isometric 3D environments, including detailed interiors like a bar, bedrooms, and what appears to be a shop or Mag's room. The text points out the level of detail, comparing it to a dollhouse, and mentions how daily items like a bathtub give a sense of life to the locations inhabited by characters like the protagonist, Mag Lagum, and his companions, Linear and Gree Naid, who are visible in the screens. Aircraft are presented as symbolic of the era's technological advancement, with images of both a yellow biplane featured prominently in the environment and a red biplane noted as a representative vehicle. The article ponders if the player will be able to control these aircraft. The overall impression conveyed is a charming, detailed world focused on exploration and the daily lives of adventurers in a steampunk-esque setting. The large text graphic at the bottom proclaims, "World when captivated by legend." This page continues the exploration of Evolution, World of Sacred Device. It reveals that the game's setting is an island scattered with the ruins of an ancient civilization. These ruins house dungeons that dynamically change their layout upon each entry, offering significant freedom to the player in deciding which ones to delve into. A map of the Panem continent is displayed, representing the world. A key piece of equipment is introduced, the Psi-frame, a relic from the ancient civilization. This machine is wielded by the protagonist, Mag Lampalium, and is highly versatile, offering power-ups by finding parts in ruins and providing practical abilities for exploration beyond combat. An illustration showcases the Psi-frame in detail, alongside screenshots of its use in gameplay. The page also highlights the game's event scenes, where the narrative unfolds through character conversations. The camera angles shift effectively during these dialogues, adding to the presentation. Several screenshots depict characters interacting, and a charming sketch of a town, possibly Marine Town, is shown, illustrating the game's locations. The text at the bottom confirms that the adventure is beginning and suggests Mag, Linear, and Green AID will form the initial party. This page delves deeper into the world and characters of Mag Launcher, known internationally as Evolution, World of Sacred Device. It highlights the game's narrative premise, centered around the legacy of a prehistoric civilization. The protagonist, Mag Lampalium, is introduced as a young adventurer from the prestigious Launcher family, who, following in his parents' footsteps, investigates the ancient ruins scattered across the world. The game's backstory explains the fall of a highly advanced civilization and the emergence of a new era where humanity utilizes relics like superior vehicles. Mag's adventure is spurred by the arrival of an Imperial expeditionary force in his town, targeting a mysterious girl named Linear. Alongside Mag, another intriguing character is featured, Pepperbox, a skilled 24-year-old female adventurer from a foreign land who may join Mag's party. Prominent illustrations showcase Mag Lampalium, depicted with his signature gear and goggles, and Pepperbox, exuding a confident and stylish demeanor with her large weapon. A gameplay screenshot confirms that the in-game character models, specifically Mag during combat, faithfully reproduce the detailed artwork. The page also includes a sketch illustrating a dungeon environment located within a forest, hinting at the types of areas players will explore. The overall theme emphasized is the pursuit of a wonderful adventuring experience. This page continues exploring Evolution, World of Sacred Device, introducing significant supporting characters and deepening the narrative. Featured prominently is Linear Canon, the mysterious heroine mentioned previously, described as a girl who opens her heart only to Mag Lampalium and whose age is possibly 17. We also meet Grenade, Mag's trustworthy 58-year-old butler, characterized by his warm demeanor and sharp eyes. Adding a layer of drama is Chaingun, a 15-year-old rival adventurer. The text highlights the deep-rooted rivalry between Mag's Launcher family and Chain's Gun family, both lineages of famed adventurers who have historically not gotten along. However, the page points out an intriguing twist. Chain, despite the rivalry, seems to secretly have feelings for Mag, drawing comparisons to the classic tale of Romeo and Juliet. This sets up a potentially complex relationship dynamic, especially with Linear also involved, hinting at a possible love triangle. A screenshot shows the game's chibi models, including Chain Gun, perhaps in a town or dungeon environment. The overall theme emphasizes the varied cast, who will accompany or oppose the protagonists as they embark on their adventure. This page dives deep into the visual and combat mechanics of Evolution, World of Sacred Device, presenting them as major highlights. The magazine praises the game's advanced 3D graphics, noting the characters' presence and the seamless integration of light and skill effects, making the visuals feel almost like a movie. The focus isn't just on detailed graphics, but on the extraordinarily smooth and natural movement of the 3D characters during battle scenes, completely avoiding any sense of awkwardness often found in 3D animation of the time. The battle system is described as utilizing an easy-to-learn command input method, accessible even for RPG newcomers. However, it's highlighted that the system incorporates strategic elements beyond simple action selection, promising intense back-and-forth exchanges with enemies. The dynamic presentation of Mag's Psi-frame weapon is specifically showcased, with its fluid movements and the camera angles smoothly shifting from close-ups to wide shots to emphasize the powerful action. The overall impression is that the battles are designed to be both powerful, thrilling, and visually flashy, serving as a core attraction of the game. This page delves deeper into the core systems of Evolution, World of Sacred Device, detailing how players will explore dungeons and engage in battle. First up is System Check 1, explaining dungeon exploration. The game features fully 3D polygon environments where you navigate your character. You'll see enemies roaming around, and combat initiates upon contact, a system reminiscent of Treasure Hunter ZIG. Interestingly, the magazine points out that you can completely avoid battles by simply running away from enemies. Screenshots showcase some of the intriguing enemy designs you'll encounter in these dungeons. Next is System Check 2, focusing on the character status display and the crucial fight gauge. The UI shows a character status with 2 bars. The top one represents HP, and the bottom is the unique fight gauge, described as representing morale. This gauge builds up during battle, and is essential for unleashing powerful special techniques. Unlike traditional RPG MP, the gauge consumption varies depending on the technique's strength. The write-up compares this mechanic more closely to the build-up gauges seen in fighting games. Screenshots demonstrate the character status display featuring mag and linear, as well as visuals of special attacks and their effects. Status ailments like poison or paralysis will also appear as icons below the character's status display. The visuals continue to impress, with flashy effects for the techniques. This page delves into the mysteries surrounding evolution, exploring 7 key concepts related to the game's world and lore. First up is Keyword 1, character names. The article points out that many character names, including the protagonists Mag and Linear, seem to be based on weapon names. This could be a hint to the game's story, or just a playful design choice by the developers. A screenshot shows Mag and Linear interacting with another character in an indoor setting. Next is Keyword 2, prehistoric civilization. This highlights the presence of a ruined ancient civilization in the game's backstory. The writer ponders the nature of this long-vanished society. Artwork depicts a large, mysterious creature or entity within ancient ruins, suggesting the kind of remnants players might uncover. Finally, Keyword 3 focuses on the SciFrame. Described as versatile machines created and used by the ancient people, SciFrames are tools handled by those with compatibility. This hints at a connection between the characters who can use SciFrames, like Mag and Linear, and potentially the ancient civilization itself. It's noted that many who can use SciFrames are adventurers. A battle screenshot shows Mag and Linear in action, and concept art illustrates a seaside building, possibly a shop or base of operations, hinting at the game's locations. The page emphasizes that uncovering these mysteries, such as the nature of the prehistoric civilization, the all-purpose machine, likely the SciFrame, and a great military nation, is a core part of the game's appeal. Pieces of a scattered puzzle details the game's features. Keyword 4 introduces dynamic, trap-filled dungeons, the core adventure setting, tied to academic investigation and artifact hunting. Keyword 5 discusses the monsters inhabiting dungeons, some crucial for SciFrame upgrades. Keyword 6 reveals the presence of various vehicles, including potential tank combat. Keyword 7 explores adversaries, including dungeon-controlling figures, those threatening Linear, and the powerful 8th Empire, hinting at diverse conflict. The game's development by Sting, known for unique RPGs like Baroque and Treasure Hunter G, is highlighted, suggesting technical skill and innovative gameplay. This page features a significant announcement. SEGA and Climax have teamed up again after 6 years to bring forth a legitimate, orthodox RPG designed to please both longtime followers and new fans. The game is titled Climax, known internationally as Time Stalkers, and it's slated as a newcomer title for the Sega Dreamcast, with a planned release in late 1998. The genre is confirmed as role-playing. A screenshot shows a battle scene rendered in 3Ds, featuring a party of characters facing off against enemies, complete with on-screen indicators for HP, MP, and VIT. Prominently displayed are the game's new protagonists: Rao, a powerful bear-like warrior; Sword, a human male with a sword; and Marion, a unique female character with mechanical joints. The magazine teases that detailed profiles for these characters will be presented on the following page. This collaboration is highlighted as a welcome return for Climax's RPG expertise on Sega hardware. This page continues the coverage of Time Stalkers, known in Japan as Climax Landers, highlighting the game's return to Sega's new Dreamcast console. A large illustration at the top features many characters, serving as a group shot of the game's cast. Below the game's prominent logo, the page declares, "Come back!" emphasizing the return of beloved elements. Indeed, the article confirms that characters familiar to fans of Climax's past RPGs are making a comeback. The 3 characters pictured at the bottom are identified as Merlin, Lyle, and Lady, all recognizable figures from previous entries in the Shining series. This is presented as a joyous occasion for longtime followers. An interesting detail is pointed out in the top illustration. A small, cute creature is highlighted next to the protagonist Rao. The text identifies this as Yogurt from the original Shining Force on the Mega Drive, speculating on his potential appearance in Time Stalkers. The page also provides basic game specifications, confirming it is a single-player experience, and supports the Dreamcast's visual memory unit. This reinforces the game's status as a new title for Sega's next-generation hardware, building anticipation for this return to form for Climax's RPG roots. This page delves further into Time Stalkers, known as Climax Landers in Japan, focusing on the details of its gameplay system and technical prowess on the Dreamcast. The headline promises a game that's easy to approach yet offers deep complexity, highlighting the game's core mechanics. The article emphasizes the game's visuals, stating that the entire screen is composed of incredibly detailed, real-time full polygons. This technical feat allows for stunning environments that resemble pre-rendered images but are fully explorable in 3 dimensions, giving players complete freedom of movement within the game world. This level of graphical detail significantly enhances the immersion, particularly during intense combat encounters shown in the screenshots. A major point of focus is the innovative, automatically generated dungeon system. The page explains that every time a player enters a dungeon, its layout, along with the placement of enemies, items, and traps, is entirely randomized. This creates a constant sense of surprise and tension, as players never know what to expect. The only way to escape these dynamic labyrinths is to defeat the boss lurking deep within. This system ensures that every playthrough offers a unique adventure. The page also introduces the protagonist, Rao, detailing his profile under the class Sword. He's described as an adventurer who is perhaps a bit unconventional. Basic data like his race, human, job, traveler, and gender, male, are provided alongside a character portrait and screenshots showing him in the game world and combat. The next page expands further on Time Stalkers, detailing the diverse locations and the unique inhabitants players will encounter. The game's world is described not just as dungeons, but a mosaic of various times and places, including lush forests and ancient shrines, ensuring the adventure isn't confined to underground mazes. Screenshots highlight environments like a character exploring a wooded area and another near a mysterious structure. Players will also interact with the residents of the towns, which are strange, unconventional spaces populated by characters from different historical periods and fairy tales. Communication is key here, as players deepen their understanding of the world by talking to these unique individuals. A screenshot shows characters interacting in a town setting, with one offering services like appraising and buying rare items. The protagonist's home is also featured, described as a space that can be upgraded and decorated as the player progresses. This home isn't just a base. It becomes a gathering place for other playable characters like Lyle and Lady, fostering a sense of camaraderie. Screenshots show the interior of the home, empty and later filled with the party, illustrating its evolving nature. Finally, the page introduces Marlin as character file number 02. An elf magic user, Marlin is a key ally who originated from the Mega Drive title Shining and the Darkness. She's depicted as normally serious, but possessing terrifyingly powerful offensive magic when angered, a force capable of breaking through difficult situations in combat, as shown in her character screenshot. This page continues the deep dive into Time Stalkers, now focusing specifically on the battle system. Despite the game featuring real-time elements during exploration, combat shifts to a completely turn-based system, employing traditional command inputs familiar from classic RPGs. The review highlights that this approach was chosen to allow players to enjoy a battle strategy that is significantly more complex than real-time encounters. Screenshots show characters in action during combat, illustrating the dynamic camera angles and visual effects, particularly for special attacks and magic, which the reviewer notes have a cinematic impact. One screenshot shows a character charging up a glowing sword attack. Another shows the party facing an enemy in a room, and a third displays the minimap and character location in a dungeon setting. The page also introduces character file hash 03, Marion. Described as a mysterious doll of unknown origin and time, Marion is driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge or inquiry. She is noted for possessing a formidable, destructive power. Her character data lists her race as humanoid/doll, her occupation as unknown, and her gender as female. A large character portrait of Marion is featured alongside her description. This page continues the coverage of Time Stalkers. First, it delves into the magic effects, highlighting how flashy and powerful they are, utilizing the Dreamcast's capabilities to their fullest. The article notes that even basic spells look impressive, leading to anticipation for higher-level magic. Screenshots demonstrate various magical attacks, including one showing a fiery explosion and another featuring a large purple crystal. Next, the page reveals an exciting feature. Monsters can become allies. Players can recruit various monsters encountered in dungeons to join their party. These recruited monsters can be transferred to the Visual Memory Unit, VMU, where they can participate in minigames and even grow stronger outside of the main game. The article suggests that finding the best partner monster is important for dungeon exploration. A screenshot shows a party including a monster ally, and another depicts the VMU screen interface. Finally, character file #04 introduces Ryle. Described as a treasure hunter familiar to Mega Drive users, Ryle is skilled with a sword and participates in this adventure, having met the protagonist in a previous quest years ago. He is an elf treasure hunter, male, and his origin is explicitly stated as being from the 1992 Mega Drive 3D action RPG, Landstalker. A large portrait of Ryle is displayed, along with a screenshot possibly showing him in a town environment. This page starts with an interview featuring Hiroshi Naito, the president of Climax, discussing their direction and excitement about developing games for the Dreamcast. He talks about their goals for their first title on the system, which is Time Stalkers, and the challenges of bringing their signature RPG style to new hardware while making it accessible to a wider audience. The text hints that the game is nearing completion, and they are working on balancing elements like combat. Following the interview, there's a section stating that the essence of Climax's games is scattered throughout the new title. The page concludes with character file #05, introducing Rao. He's identified as a member of the Ryling tribe, who are half-human, half-land warriors. Rao is a male soldier, whose existence revolves around battle, depicted as serious and highly skilled with weapons. The accompanying screenshot shows Rao in a gameplay environment, giving a glimpse of his appearance and the game's visuals. This page continues the interview with Climax president Hiroshi Naito, regarding Time Stalkers on Dreamcast. Naito expresses excitement about bringing beloved 2D characters from their past into a 3D world, believing this will delight longtime fans. He emphasizes the critical role characters play in enjoying an RPG, and hints at the appearance of the character Yogurt, though details are kept secret. He also proudly mentions incorporating the company name into the title. Naito discusses the game's RPG structure, including dungeons and combat, and confirms plans to exhibit it at the Tokyo Game Show. There's a special section highlighting a cryptic remark from Naito about something revolutionary happening with the Visual Memory Unit, suggesting Climax is developing a game concept that goes beyond the traditional use of the VMU. The page concludes with character file #06, introducing Lady. Described as deceptively cute with a strong personality and independent spirit, she's known for causing commotion. Her origins are revealed to be from the 1994 Super Famicom title, Lady Stalker. A screenshot shows Lady within the game environment. This page unveils more exciting details about Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast, building anticipation. The headline declares the game is almost complete, the full picture, and promises continued coverage with new screenshots, highlighting its status as the most anticipated title. Sonic Team's action-packed Dreamcast title is scheduled for a year-end release, with the price still to be determined. The article focuses on the gameplay of 3 characters revealed during the August announcement, aiming to convey the thrilling speed and impact. It also mentions receiving comments from the development team regarding the status of other characters. A section titled, "System is almost complete. Pick up 3 characters," explains that unlike previous articles covering the overall story, this one delves into characters whose gameplay mechanics are largely finalized. The plan is to examine these characters with new screenshots and experience them firsthand at the Tokyo Game Show. Screenshots showcase Knuckles, suggesting his gameplay will be featured, and Sonic, demonstrating his ability to rescue animals by destroying capsules. The article also includes photos from the August presentation, featuring Sonic Team producer Takashi Iizuka. A prominent section highlights a spectacular high-speed loop sequence right at the beginning of a level, shown through a series of continuous screenshots that capture the dynamic camera work and intense speed. This page clearly aims to heighten excitement for Sonic Adventure by detailing specific gameplay elements and confirming its near-completion status and upcoming playable appearance. This page continues the coverage of Sonic Adventure, showcasing more of its exciting gameplay features. The main focus is on the Speed Highway action stage, highlighting Sonic running at incredible speeds through a vibrant night city. The article emphasizes the sheer sense of speed and the dynamic camera work, suggesting that the goal might lead to a confrontation with chaos. The page also reveals new elements, such as the ability to use vehicles at certain points in the stage, specifically showing Sonic utilizing a helicopter and a small rocket for traversal. Additionally, it confirms the return of a classic Sonic element, rescuing animals trapped by Eggman in capsules, mentioning that familiar friends like Flicky are among them, just like in Sonic 1. A particularly dramatic sequence highlighted is a super high-speed descent scene, where Sonic runs vertically down the side of a skyscraper, made even more impactful in 3D. The page also shows sections where the world seems to turn upside down, allowing Sonic to run on the underside of paths, adding to the exhilarating sense of speed and dynamic level design. The overall tone conveys excitement about the fast-paced and visually impressive gameplay. This page shifts focus to another key character in Sonic Adventure, Knuckles the Echidna, and highlights his unique gameplay style in the Red Mountain stage. Unlike Sonic's speed-focused levels, Knuckles is on a mission to recover the scattered pieces of the Master Emerald, broken by a lightning strike. His gameplay revolves around treasure hunting, using a built-in detector that emits a sonar-like sound. The tempo of this sound increases as you get closer to a hidden fragment, guiding you to its location. The fragments can be buried or hidden, requiring exploration based on sound cues, as their locations change with every play, adding replayability. Knuckles also utilizes his signature abilities like gliding, which the article notes is improved for easier use and allows for quick directional changes mid-air. A new ability, digging, is introduced, letting him burrow into the ground to unearth hidden items like rings and the crucial emerald fragments. The text also points out a massive, potentially hazardous hammer in the level. Furthermore, the page shows the return of classic Sonic elements, like rescuing captured animal friends, hinting at Eggman's continued use of animals in his robots, similar to the original Sonic game, and notes interest in the appearance of Chaos within capsules. This page effectively conveys the distinct and intriguing gameplay mechanics tailored for Knuckles, contrasting with Sonic's speedrun stages. This article previews Tails' gameplay in Sonic Adventure, particularly in the returning Ice Cap stage. Tails must chase Sonic down snowy slopes, avoiding a pursuing avalanche. The sliding mechanic is simplified compared to Sonic 3. The article also briefly introduces other playable characters. Amy Rose's gameplay focuses on rescuing a bird while avoiding Eggman's robot. Big the Cat offers a relaxed fishing experience, contrasting with the other characters' fast-paced action. E102 Gamma is a shooting character. A development update indicates positive progress and teases further reveals at the Tokyo Game Show, including adventure scenes and information on the remaining 3 characters. This page unveils a new golf title coming to the Dreamcast, aptly named Chao Hamaru Golf, which translates roughly to Super Addicting Golf. True to its name, the game is designed to be easily enjoyable by everyone, from children to adults, promising an accessible and engaging golf experience. The key feature highlighted is its innovative control scheme, utilizing the Dreamcast's analog stick. Players will pull and flick the stick to execute shots, a unique mechanic intended to make hitting the ball intuitive and fun. The game also boasts a My Club system, adding another layer to the gameplay. The preview emphasizes that while the basic rules are simple, hit the ball into the hole, the game offers a high degree of immersion and competitive spirit. It supports up to 4 players simultaneously, making it perfect for playing with family and friends, reinforcing the super addicting theme. Look forward to hitting the links when this golf game launches in spring 1999. The next page delves deeper into the mechanics of Chao Hamaru Golf, focusing on its accessible and innovative gameplay. It highlights the new control scheme, utilizing the analog controller, where direction is set with the D-pad, and shot power is determined by pulling back and releasing the analog stick using a clear power gauge. Club selection is crucial and influenced by factors like terrain, wind, and shot type. The game also features a ball trajectory window, allowing players to add spin, slice, or hook to their shots for greater control. A significant feature is the My Club system, which lets players customize and upgrade their clubs rather than characters. This system allows players using the same character to have vastly different playstyles based on their club setup. New clubs can be acquired through tournaments, in-game shops, or even by trading with friends via the Visual Memory Unit (VMS), adding a social element. The page reinforces the game's appeal to a wide audience, suggesting it's a perfect gift and emphasizing that golf can be enjoyed by everyone. This page excitedly anticipates the arrival of the acclaimed arcade racer, SEGA Rally 2, on Dreamcast, promising a full port supervised by AM12R&D. The developers express confidence in surpassing the arcade original in areas like visual effects, ensuring a beautiful presentation, and refining control for the home console pad. The article reflects on the highly regarded Saturn version, SEGA Rally Championship, which set a high bar for home rally simulations at the time. Comparing to that success, the Dreamcast version aims to add substantial home-exclusive elements. Screenshots from the Saturn version illustrate various modes expected in the new release, including time attack for perfecting laps, a detailed replay mode, a settings mode allowing deep car customization, and a record mode for reviewing race data and performance metrics. The focus is clearly on delivering a robust and polished experience tailored for home play while maintaining the arcade thrills. SEGA Rally 2 on Dreamcast promises a significant upgrade over the arcade version. The game will feature tens of unlockable vehicles, including returning classics and manufacturer flagships, vastly expanding on the arcade's car selection. The course variety will also be enhanced, with new environments like desert, mountain, snowy, Riviera, and a unique Indonesian track. Dynamic weather and time progression, seen in the PC version, will enhance immersion. The Dreamcast version will include a split-screen versus mode and, excitingly, modem-based online multiplayer for up to 3 players. To further enhance the experience, a dedicated steering wheel controller is in development. This build aims to provide the definitive home rally experience, with Dreamcast screenshots expected in the next issue. This page features a striking presentation for D2 on the Dreamcast. Dominating the layout is the large red D2 logo and the title D2's Diner 2, the game known internationally simply as D2. It confirms the game as an action RPG set for release that winter on the Dreamcast, supporting the visual memory unit and online communication features. The accompanying text highlights D2 as one of the initial Dreamcast titles, noting that creator Kenji Eno has reappeared after a period of quiet since the game's grand announcement 4 months prior. He's said to be bringing new resolve and information, though some mysteries about the game remain. While detailed information, including screenshots, is promised for later, the page suggests it's time to delve into the deeper world of D2, with Eno himself as the guide. The imagery features a fragmented close-up of Kenji Eno's face, alongside the developer's Warp logo, and the text, "Much before." This page serves as a teaser, building anticipation for more details on the next installment of the unique D series. This page delves deeper into the development of D2, featuring an extensive interview with creator Kenji Eno. It reveals that the game's scenario and genre have undergone significant changes since the initial announcement. Eno spent 2 months completely rewriting the script in a hotel, resulting in a much larger world, and double the story length compared to earlier plans. Originally targeting a short playtime, the game is now expected to be under 20 hours, incorporating new movie scenes, real-time events, puzzle elements, and minigames. Crucially, the genre has shifted from action-adventure to action-RPG, adding character growth and abilities, though Eno clarifies it won't involve complex statistical calculations like traditional RPGs. Eno states this is the 6th rewrite of the story, and it's the final version, reflecting a more determined approach after feeling the previous drafts were insufficient. He mentions the main scenario document is substantial, nearly 100 pages. Intriguingly, the ending is being kept secret, not even written down yet, to preserve the surprise for the development staff and protect the story's key foreshadowing elements. The page also highlights a hidden theme, emphasizing that the game doesn't force a specific message, but encourages players to interpret the story for themselves. Large red text on the page dramatically proclaims, "Was decided she was born," hinting at a pivotal plot point. Various images depict snowy landscapes, characters, and a large monster, giving glimpses of the game world. This page continues the fascinating interview with D2 creator Kenji Eno, delving deeper into the game's evolving story and genre. Eno explains that the massive script rewrite resulted in a story so significant, he's keeping the ending a secret even from the voice actress for the main character, Laura Parton, to preserve the tension during recording. He elaborates on the genre shift to action RPG, clarifying that while adventure games focus on exploring the world, RPGs, in his view, emphasize the growth of the player and the characters. He uses the example of encountering a dragon. An adventure game might just be about defeating it, but an RPG explores the deeper context, like the dragon having a family, leading to complex moral dilemmas and painful choices for the player. This focus on introspection and self-discovery is central to D2's theme, which he believes is deeper than in his previous works. The page also features a profile for Laura Parton, confirming her age and gender, highlighting her importance as the central character navigating this complex narrative. A dedicated section titled Monsters reveals that the game's terrifying creatures were once human, now transformed but retaining some semblance of their former selves, adding a layer of tragedy to the enemy design. Images on the page include the CGI portrait of Laura Parton, and a glimpse of one of the game's monstrous entities. This page continues the interview with D2 creator Kenji Eno, exploring the game's narrative and design philosophy. Eno discusses the rapid growth of the character Sarah, explaining it's driven by the harsh conditions of the snowy mountain setting and other hidden factors. He views the game as a tool to evoke emotion, not just show things, but make the player think about themes like life and death. He highlights that the enemies in D2 are not just simple monsters, but beings who were once human, retaining a complex nature he calls between monster and human. He intentionally designed them to be somewhat endearing, making the act of fighting them feel difficult. This, he believes, is a unique aspect of the game's direction, allowing for more player interaction beyond just shooting. The narrative expands its scope to the universe, with core keywords guiding the story, though they are not explicitly stated. Eno suggests players trust their imagination to grasp the meaning. Ultimately, he aims for the game to evoke a full spectrum of emotions: joy, sadness, pain, leading players to a deeper understanding and acceptance of everything, including life and death, which he feels is reflected in the game's ending. The page includes character portraits for Janie, Jane, David Brenner, and Kimberly Fox, along with imagery related to the game's themes and creatures. This page features Blue Stinger, an upcoming adventure action title for the Sega Dreamcast. The page includes the game's logo prominently displayed, along with screenshots showcasing the protagonist Elliot fighting various creatures. The game is being developed by Climax Graphics and is scheduled for release at the end of 1998, though the price is yet to be determined. The developers are aiming for an action movie-like experience, incorporating elements like creature design and camera angles influenced by Hollywood production techniques. The text highlights that development is progressing smoothly, with the presented screenshots reflecting the current state of the game. It also mentions the addition of use elements like health and ammo displays, indicating the game system is nearing completion. The overall tone suggests excitement for the game's impending release. This page focuses on the second playable character in Blue Stinger, Dogs Bowser. The previous coverage only showed Elliot in action, leading some to believe he was the sole playable character. However, this article confirms Dogs is also fully controllable by the player. The article highlights Dogs' significant role in the game's story, interactions with Elliot, and how gameplay differs when controlling him. Several screenshots showcase Dogs in action, wielding weapons, and interacting with the environment. There's a close-up showing Dogs looking up at a sign with a dynamic camera angle, emphasizing the game's cinematic presentation. 2 checkpoints delve into specifics. Checkpoint 1 discusses the difference in abilities between Elliot and Dogs. While controls are similar, their physical capabilities vary. Dogs, being larger and stronger, handles heavy weapons more easily. Conversely, Elliot might have an edge in close-quarters combat. Checkpoint 2 ponders the fate of the mysterious Nephilim creature when playing as Dogs. It appears the Nephilim will still accompany Dogs, similar to its behavior with Elliot, though screenshots suggest it may occasionally disappear. The text mentions Dogs is a former soldier, explaining his proficiency with weapons. Overall, the page reveals Dogs is not just a supporting character, but a distinct, fully playable protagonist, with his own combat style and narrative presence. This page delves deeper into the world of Blue Stinger, focusing on the automated facilities of Dinosaur Island and the perilous situations player character Elliot Ballard faces. The island is depicted as a highly automated city where daily life is smooth thanks to computers and machinery, but a crisis can turn this convenience into a major obstacle, limiting even simple actions as the machines continue their programmed responses without human oversight. The article highlights key gameplay elements through screenshots and commentary. One section details how individual recognition systems verify Elliot's identity, allowing access. Another shows Elliot unlocking security systems, likely granting access to restricted areas, emphasizing the game's adventure and puzzle-solving aspects. The text describes the process of sending identification codes to bypass security measures against hacking attempts. A dramatic sequence is shown, featuring an elevator collapsing. The text describes Elliot escaping the runaway inclined elevator after an accident, noting the cinematic tension of the scene. Finally, the page teases finding other survivors but ends with the ominous sight of a helicopter being struck by something, hinting at further dangers beyond the immediate environment. This page effectively showcases Elliot's navigation through the island's automated hazards and the unfolding crisis. This page focuses on the terrifying creatures encountered in Blue Stinger, revealing the horrific results of parasitic infection. We see protagonist Elliot Ballard battling grotesque mutants, some of which were once human, now completely taken over by the parasitic entity. The text questions if these beings have lost all humanity, noting their relentless attacks on Elliot and the futility of resisting them in some moments. The page also features dogs, another character, engaging the mutated threats. A particularly unsettling image shows a creature with glowing compound eyes, potentially revealing a deeper, monstrous form of the parasite. Dramatic screenshots depict a helicopter crashing and exploding into the water, described as a sudden, unavoidable turn of events following attempts to contact other survivors on Dinosaur Island. The article notes that survivors are few, and that the helicopter pilot and contact were present during the search before the crash. The magazine praises the game's visuals, particularly the impact and explosion effects, highlighting their flashiness and realism. This page effectively conveys the intense action and body horror elements of Blue Stinger's monster encounters. This page features the game July, a cinematic suspense adventure set in the near future of 1999, focusing on Tokyo. It details the game's setting, which centers around Nadix Pharmaceutical and the Rava Foundation. One key character, Jean, is described as having exceptional intelligence despite lacking the ability to reproduce, a fact identified by her father, Alan. The story involves a mysterious plan called Project R, coming into effect in July 1999, amidst global turmoil like stock market crashes and political instability. Gameplay involves moving through the game world via a map selection system, where you choose locations from a broader area or specific rooms within buildings. Screenshots illustrate this map interface and character interactions. The page also introduces characters with brief descriptions and portraits. The producer, Noriaki Sakakura, is featured, describing the two main characters as contrasting figures. He highlights the game's focus on the end of the century and how players choose to spend it, emphasizing the freedom of choice in gameplay and the game's depth. The game is listed for Dreamcast, expected late 1998, and is for one player. This page dives deeper into July, focusing on the game's two main protagonists and their intertwined stories. The core of the gameplay is a zapping system that allows players to switch between the perspectives of Makoto Takamura and Joshua, each navigating their own distinct narrative arcs that unfold over 18 days in July 1999. Makoto's story is one of revenge, targeting the head of the Nabix group who betrayed him. Joshua's narrative is rooted in personal tragedy, stemming from a past terrorist bombing in London that claimed his sister's life and left his mother in a coma. Screenshots show glimpses into pivotal moments, including Makoto visiting his mother in the hospital on the anniversary of his sister's death, and interactions with key characters like his childhood friend Eriko and a woman named Minami. The game features an extensive cast of over 150 characters, all of whom can be viewed in the global screen, represented by a large grid of portraits. To help players keep track of the complex narrative and large character pool, July incorporates a user-friendly system. A chapter display screen allows players to revisit completed sections, view synopses for each of the 18 chapters, and see which characters they encountered on specific days, making it easy to pick up the story even after a break. This system, along with the accessible character profiles, ensures players can navigate the intricate plot and character relationships effectively. This page covers the communication game To the North, set in Hokkaido, and is themed around living in Hokkaido. The game allows players to experience life in Hokkaido and express their favorite feelings. Players will encounter 8 different girls and communicate with them using a unique system to convey their emotions. Described as a travel communication game, it was developed by Hudson. The page features artwork of a brown-haired girl, characteristic of the game's anime art style. This title was released on the Dreamcast. This page features the game To the North, White Illumination, a romance drama adventure game coming to Dreamcast. The main focus is on the player, a high school student from Tokyo, who spends 14 days of summer vacation in Hokkaido, where he meets and interacts with 8 different girls. The goal is to deepen relationships and potentially express feelings of liking or love. The page highlights the unique communication break system, which aims to create more realistic conversations with the girls by allowing for interruptions and dynamic responses, moving beyond simple multiple-choice options. The story also mentions a return trip in winter to see how the girls have grown. The page includes a large illustration of a girl from the game and a smaller section detailing the communication system. It also points to further articles about the game's development secrets on page 72 and a report related to Dreamcast Illumination on page 76, suggesting deeper dives into the game's creation and its platform. This page delves deeper into the Dreamcast title, To the North, White Illumination, continuing the discussion on the unique communication break system, CBS. It emphasizes how interrupting conversations or responding at the right moment allows for more dynamic interactions and can alter the girl's reaction and mood, unlike traditional visual novels with static choices. The system lets the player proactively guide the conversation, potentially changing the topic or asking the other person to repeat themselves, influencing their affection level and the player's perceived personality. The page also introduces 2 of the game's key characters with illustrations and brief profiles. Ayu Kawahara, a bright and positive first-year student aiming to be a musician, and Tanya Lipinski, a 16-year-old Russian working at a glass studio in Otaru, who is introverted but competitive. Following this, a special program features an interview with Hudson developers, director Takashi Takebe, and scenario writer Yutaka Nagayama, revealing secrets behind the game's creation. They explain that the project started with character illustrations, which inspired the decision to make a romance game. Initially planned as a polygon game, it shifted to 2Ds. The developers discussed choosing Hokkaido as the setting and the process of building characters, emphasizing the focus on their personalities. They also touch on the decision to include only 8 main girls as romantic interests to keep the protagonist's focus sharp. This page continues the detailed look at the unique communication break system, CBS, in To the North, White Illumination. Building on the explanation from the previous page, it illustrates the 3 main types of conversation breaks: breaking during a line, breaking between lines, and breaking simultaneously with a line. Examples are shown using dialogue snippets, demonstrating how the timing of the break can lead to different follow-up options and reactions from the character, affecting the player's relationship. Breaking mid-sentence can show impatience or lack of interest, while breaking between sentences allows for a change of topic or elaboration. Simultaneous breaks might offer a chance to interject or agree. The "it was supposed to be" section continues the developer interview. Director Takebe and scenario writer Nagayama discuss the game's genre, emphasizing it's not just a typical gal game, but a drama focusing on relationships, similar to their work on Tengai Makyu, Far East of Eden. They state there's no explicit content. They explain the protagonist is a traveler in Hokkaido with no prior connections, necessitating a guide. This led to the decision to make the main navigational character, Yuri, a relative, establishing an initial connection. Finally, the page introduces Yuko Sakuragi, a 20-year-old working in public relations for the Air Self-Defense Force. Her profile lists her height as 173 centimeters, weight 55 kilograms, and blood type B. Her hobbies are photography and motorcycles, and she's described as cheerful and not bothered by minor details. The live-action backgrounds in To the North, White Illumination transport players to Hokkaido, enhancing immersion and potentially inspiring real-world tourism. The game features meticulously captured real-world locations like Farm Tomida's lavender fields, on Neto Lake, the Five-Color Lake, and Ogon Masaki's sunsets. Developers scouted these locations, employing various techniques, including posing staff, before capturing the final footage. An interview with Hudson developers reveals their process. They preferred cloudy days for shooting and utilized graphic tools for retouching and digital effects, including snow. The team spent 3 months capturing the scenery. The page also introduces Rin Satoaka, a high school student who dreams of becoming a game designer. This page continues the coverage of To the North, White Illumination. It introduces a new heroine, Ayu-chan Kawara, a childhood friend of the main character's cousin. Fisher said, she lives in Sapporo and aims to be a musician. Her profile notes she is 24, works at Hokkaido University Hospital, is 164 centimeters tall, weighs 49 kilograms, has O blood type, and enjoys driving. The page highlights several locations featured in the game, including MT Tengu, the Otaru Music Box Museum, T-Trine Olympia Amusement Park, and Junior Otaru Station, showing how these real-world spots are incorporated with character interactions. Developer comments touch on the challenges of game production, including the massive data requirements for voice acting and backgrounds, referencing the use of GODROM, likely in comparison to previous Saturn development, and the polygon capabilities of the upcoming Dreamcast for future projects. Voice recording for various characters, including Kaoru Shina, is also mentioned. This page continues the exploration of the world of To the North, White Illumination, highlighting a related radio program, Dreamcast Hour, To the North. This show, airing Saturday nights at 22:30 JST, features voice actors Chiha Sayaka, voicing the game's protagonist, and Otani Ikue, who voices the character Haruno Suzuri. The voice actors share their experiences on the fun radio show, and how listener feedback makes them want to visit Hokkaido. Detailed profiles are provided for Chiha Sayaka, listing her past work including Magic Knight Rayearth and Sakura Wars, and for Haruno Suzuri, describing her as a first-year high school student in Sapporo, with notes on her personality and appearance, often looking younger than her actual age but being energetic. In the special program section, developers from Hudson discuss the game's structure. They reveal, To the North, White Illumination is divided into two parts, a longer summer vacation section and a winter section. During the summer, players have equal opportunities to meet various heroines. The winter part, while perhaps feeling shorter due to more intimate conversations, allows players to focus specifically on the girl they choose, offering a distinct shift in gameplay from exploration to deepening relationships. They note that structuring the scenario wasn't difficult, given their experience working together. This page delves further into the world of To the North, White Illumination, focusing on the Dreamcast Hour radio program and the voice actors behind the game's characters. Profiles are provided for three key figures. Otani Ikue voices Aida Megumi, a character portrayed as having moved from Tokyo to Hokkaido, with Otani relating her performance to her own experiences from when her family managed a farm. Sahyo Nogika is introduced as a straightforward second-year high school student from Sapporo, and she is voiced by Chiha Sayaka, who also voices the protagonist and is featured in a photo. Additionally, Ayako Kawasumi makes a guest appearance, known for roles like Natsuki Mogi in Initial D and Yuki Azuma in Princess 9. The page also includes insights from staff members Takebe and Nagayama, discussing the scenario writing process. They aim to create a realistic depiction of Hokkaido, referencing interactions with the self-defense forces as part of the research. They touch upon the character development, noting how some characters reflect different aspects of women they've encountered. The discussion highlights the game's structure, mentioning the presence of both good and bad endings, with 8 good endings across the characters and 2 bad endings. Nagayama expresses a personal fondness for the scenario involving Ayako Kawasumi's character. This page covers French major developer Ubisoft and their presence on Dreamcast. Following up on the previously announced Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation 2, they've revealed 2 more titles. The article mentions their success at the ECTS show, and a report from their French headquarters providing updates. First up is Rayman 2, The Great Escape, the sequel to the original Saturn comic action game. It evolves from 2D to a 3D action-adventure where you can move freely. The unique action elements and Rayman's expressive face are highlighted. Rayman's companions also appear. Next is Speed Devils, a race game where speed is the winning condition. While it has simulator elements, it's enjoyed as a pure race game. It features real-world inspired courses in America, like the Nevada desert and Hollywood. Winning races earns prize money. Expect a rock soundtrack and story elements. The screenshots show dynamic elements like a shark obstacle on a Hollywood course. Finally, there is Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation 2. In contrast to Speed Devils, this game pursues Fly 1 realism. It features the actual Monaco street circuit and other real-world courses, totaling 17 tracks. Players can race on the famous Monaco track and customize their machine settings. The Monaco street circuit screenshot shows multiple cars racing, emphasizing the tight course. This page features an interview with Ubisoft president Yves Guillemot and highlights Ubisoft's Sega Saturn lineup. The interview title references the conditions for Dreamcast's success, linking back to the publisher's plans discussed previously, but the main focus here shifts to Ubisoft's offerings for the Saturn platform. They state they have a total of 3 unique Saturn titles designed for players to enjoy over time. First up is the original Rayman, a classic comic action platformer. The article mentions Rayman's quest to restore balance from Mr. Dark, rescuing the Electoons by punching enemies and breaking cages in this 6-stage action game. The screenshots showcase the vibrant 2D graphics and Rayman's unique look.
Next is Tennis Arena, a simulation-style tennis game supporting singles and doubles matches. It features multiple playable characters and various court surfaces like grass and clay. Screenshots display the realistic court view and player models. Finally, Street Racer Extra is presented as a battle race game, where players utilize items and weapons on the course to disrupt opponents. It includes a standard race mode across 6 tracks, and a battle mode, where the last car standing wins. The colorful visuals and kart-like racers are shown in the screenshots. Rayman 2: The Great Escape, a 3D action-adventure game for the Dreamcast, features stunning CG graphics. The game centers on Rayman rescuing his friends from a space pirate zoo. Gameplay involves land and underwater exploration using Rayman's magical fists as weapons. An interview with Ubisoft's Gregoire Gabi reveals the game was about 30% complete in September 1998, with graphics at 60%. The team was targeting a fall 1999 release, particularly focusing on the Japanese market. Gabi hinted at future Rayman titles and potential multiplayer features using the Dreamcast's online capabilities. The text also highlights Rayman's introductory description of his abilities, showcasing vibrant underwater environments and diverse character interactions through screenshots. This page features a look at 2 distinct games. First up is the racing game Speedbusters, described as an intense race where the first to blow up the police radar wins. Players choose a car, participate in high-speed races to earn prizes, and use the winnings to upgrade their vehicle. The game offers 6 different cars and features 6 unique courses with varied scenery, allowing players to customize their rides with colorful paint jobs. The screenshots show the fast-paced racing action and diverse environments, including one featuring a dinosaur hazard. The bottom part of the page focuses on Rayman 2, building on the details from the previous page. The text mentions a female character who is chasing Rayman from behind and helps him, although specific details about this interaction are still unclear. Screenshots showcase various environments and characters from the game, highlighting the vibrant 3D graphics and character animations. The listing of Speedbusters and Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation 2 alongside Rayman 2 provisional name is confusing, but the content clearly pertains to Rayman 2, suggesting it's likely 2 separate game features sharing the page space. Overall, the page provides further glimpses into the upcoming Rayman 2, and introduces the high-octane racing action of Speedbusters. The next page features an interview with Eric Hind, the Soft Research and Development Director at Ubisoft, discussing the company's decision to enter the Dreamcast market. He highlights their assessment of the DC's potential and future prospects as the primary reason for their involvement. Hunkin notes that while the industry's reaction to the new hardware has been slow, Ubisoft has historically been quick to embrace new platforms, including the Saturn. He expresses personal interest in the DC due to its programming similarities with PC development. The page also showcases the latest screenshots for Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation 2. This highly anticipated racing game is described as a detailed simulation, particularly highlighting the accurate recreation of the challenging Monaco street circuit. Developed with the full cooperation of Renault, the game features realistic Frame 1 car modeling and settings. Players can enjoy various modes, including a 17-race championship and time trials. Comments from the game's developers, including Stéphane Decroix, indicate the game was around 50% complete as of September 1998. They mention that the arcade mode will be exclusive to the DC version. While communication features like scenario downloads are being considered, online multiplayer is still undecided. The game was very popular on PC and is expected to bring the same high-quality graphics to the DC. This page reveals urgent information about Rainbow Angel, a new racing simulation game planned for the Dreamcast. This title, featured across 30 pages with this being the first report, tasks players with training 7 maidens to defeat the evil witch Mineur. The story centers around the player, a silver knight, summoned to prepare these young women for battle after Hatakura attacks the Phileas Empire. The game isn't just about training, it incorporates romance and simulation elements, and even includes RPG components, promising a varied gameplay experience. The 7 maidens depicted are Yuria Cristina, Soleil Battiera, North Bracket, Vignere Orvieto, Lucius Antinori, Mercuria Capernet, and Aris Pasignano. Compatibility with the visual memory unit is also being considered.
Look for this title towards the end of 1999, with the price yet to be determined. This page gives us an update following the Dreamcast release date announcement and features a look at SEGA Corporation. This week's visual memory display shows off some pixel art, this time for Dead or Alive 2. The core content is an interview with Toshizuki Sanada, head of SEGA's second development department. When asked about participating on the Dreamcast, he states it's currently undecided, but they are open to it if suitable content arises. He's impressed with the Dreamcast hardware, describing it as well-balanced and compact, finding it a system that fits the current era. He particularly likes the visual memory unit's ability to display separate information.
Network play is technically feasible, though infrastructure is a key consideration. SETA, founded in 1982, is highlighted for its history in both software and hardware development, including arcade boards and numerous home console titles. There's a list of their Saturn releases. The page also features a checkpoint, focusing on their popular Super Real Mahjong series. Its future is uncertain due to rating issues, but SEGA acknowledges the series' popularity and their desire to continue making games that bring the characters closer to the player, like the Saturn's Real Mahjong Adventure, Summer Waltz. A graphic explicitly asks about SEGA's participation, featuring artwork from Super Real Mahjong vs. Sanada himself is a veteran involved in hardware, including the Alex 64 arcade board. This page delves into the burning questions surrounding the upcoming Dreamcast launch, particularly focusing on the compatibility of existing SEGA Saturn peripherals and the potential of the visual memory unit. Readers flooded in, asking if their expensive Saturn gear, like the Virtua Gun, Twin Stick, and Virtua Stick Pro, would be rendered useless. An urgent report investigates this by interviewing peripheral manufacturers, Hori and IO Data. They explain that while the Dreamcast's technical specs aren't fully public, basic compatibility for simpler devices like joysticks might be theoretically possible with conversion hardware. However, more complex devices like the Virtua Gun are likely difficult. The final decision rests with SEGA, but user demand could influence them, prompting a call for readers to make their voices heard. The page then explores the capabilities of the Dreamcast's visual memory unit's 48 by 32 dot screen through reader submissions. Ideas include using it to raise Shin Megami Tensei demons, displaying mahjong tiles, and even playing a simple RPG directly on the VMU. Atlas commented that the Shin Megami Tensei demon concept, including merging, is quite possible. Pixel art examples are shown on mock VMU screens depicting Jack Frost, mahjong tiles, and basic RPG field and battle scenes featuring a skeleton enemy. The conclusions suggest the demon-raising idea is promising. Displaying mahjong tiles might be a bit hard to see, and playing a full RPG requires significant imagination given the screen limitations. The next page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast title, Seventh Cross Evolution. Described as a creature evolution simulation RPG, the game focuses on the player guiding a lifeform's survival and evolution. It highlights the use of the latest SOM, self-organizing map, artificial life technology combined with the visual capabilities of the Dreamcast to create a world and evolutionary path determined by the player. Screenshots showcase various creature designs, from bird-like beings in a forest and a robotic warrior to a scene near water. Another small image appears to show a character customization or palette selection menu. The page includes the logos for Dreamcast, NEC, and the developer Atypical Alchemists Associate, along with contact information and a website URL, confirming it's a promotion for this unique NEC home electronics release. This page is an advertisement for the unique Dreamcast title, Sengoku Turb. Described as an advanced action role-playing adventure, the game features a surreal world where players guide a lonely girl named Jino-chan across the planet Rayon. The ad highlights a million-polygon great war between cats and sheep. Screenshots reveal the game's distinctive low-polygon 3D graphics, showcasing diverse environments from battles on a grassy field and a beach to serene gardens and forests with unusual trees. The overall tone is whimsical and abstract, promising a cute yet mysterious experience where players can pursue love and courage as they see fit. Developed by NEC Home Electronics and Atypical Alchemists Associate, Sengoku Turb is known for its quirky style and genre blend from the early days of the Dreamcast. This page showcases Slank's impressive The King of Fighters Best Collection for the SEGA Saturn. This set bundles the critically acclaimed KOF 95, 96, and 97 titles,
covering the entire dramatic Orochi Saga storyline. The vibrant artwork features series mainstays Kyo Kusanagi and Iori Yagami,
alongside scattered screenshots from the games highlighting their intense fighting action.
As any seasoned Saturn owner knows, these ports were significant for their reliance on the console's RAM expansion cartridges, a detail prominently mentioned here. Ensuring arcade-accurate gameplay, the collection allows players to follow the narrative arc from the introduction of the Kyo-Yori rivalry and the first hints of the Orochi power in 95, through the appearance of key antagonists like Goenitz in 96, right up to the final confrontation with the Orochi clan's 4 Heavenly Kings in 97. It was a fantastic way for fans to get the complete saga on one platform.
This page is the Reader's Park weekly submission board, where fans write in with their thoughts, questions, and illustrations related to Sega Saturn games and various other topics. Readers share personal anecdotes, from finding bats in their homes to reflections on old magazines. The page features fan art, including characters from games like Piacaro 2, Black Matrix, and the Shin Megami Tensei series, showcasing the community's engagement and artistic talent. Submissions touch upon game comparisons, such as Sonic vs. Mario, discussions about specific titles like Black Matrix, and anticipation for future entries in series like Shin Megami Tensei on the platform. It provides a charming look at the diverse interests and passionate opinions of the Sega Saturn fanbase at the time. This page continues the Reader's Park section, showcasing more fan submissions, including letters and a 4-panel comic strip. The main comic focuses on characters seemingly from Sonic Adventure, offering a humorous take on their interactions. Below the comics, readers share various thoughts and experiences. One letter mentions finding a copy of Shining Force 2I Scenario 3, referred to as MWIV, at a 50% discount, highlighting the thrill of a bargain hunt for Saturn titles. Another reader recounts discovering a corner dedicated to Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, games in a shop they hadn't visited before, expressing excitement about finding older treasures. Other letters touch upon different topics, including buying the game Metamoru V, encountering humorous situations, and thoughts on titles like Sentimental Graffiti. These submissions provide a snapshot of the diverse interests and personal anecdotes of the Sega Saturn fanbase. This page continues the Reader's Park section, with several reader-submitted columns. The main feature is titled, I Hate Things Like This, presenting reader complaints and pet peeves related to games and gaming culture. Submissions cover various topics, from specific dislikes about the Dreamcast console and its potential games, like certain character types or release decisions, to grievances about specific game modes like Narakiri mode, role-playing mode, or elements like digital pets, including bizarre ideas like dating sims. There are also humorous complaints about game-related business books and user behaviors. Another section showcases the results of the second drawing contest, featuring reader artwork. Below that is Kana Higashi's Boys Forbidden After School Club, a column featuring thoughts and an illustration, likely focusing on a specific fan interest, perhaps related to a game like Baroque, given the illustration's style and title below it. This seems to be a corner dedicated to girl readers' submissions. The page also includes a box calling for more submissions to the Reader's Park section, listing various categories like general thoughts, daily events, illustrations, confessions, shopping experiences, comics, relationship talk, passionate game discussions, rumors, questions, and the Girls Only Club. This page clearly serves as a vibrant community hub for the magazine's readers to share their opinions and creative work. This page continues the Reader's Park section with the gallery, showcasing various illustrations submitted by readers. Featured artwork includes characters from popular fighting games like Chris from The King of Fighters 98 and Balrog, the Boxer, from Street Fighter Alpha 3, alongside characters from RPGs and other genres such as Shining Force 2I, from Scenarios 1, 2, and 3, Grandia, and Black Matrix. Readers share brief comments on their favorite games or characters, expressing enthusiasm, specific likes or dislikes about game elements, or observations about the art. There are also submissions based on Revolutionary Girl Utena, Roommate 3, Chaos Seed, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part vs. The page also highlights this week's best illustration, praising its detailed lines and atmospheric quality. Below the gallery, the magazine asks readers which recently announced Dreamcast titles they are interested in and calls for illustrations based on those games,
linking back to the ongoing discussion about the new console. Finally, there's a section detailing submission guidelines for the Reader's Park, outlining rules for artwork and text submissions, and mentioning a point system where participation earns points redeemable for prizes like books or software. This page is a mail-order advertisement from Creative Human, now operating as the B1 mail order department, noting a change in their phone numbers. It outlines their operating hours, fax availability, and details regarding shipping costs and delivery times across Japan. The main focus is a catalog of games available for order, featuring upcoming releases and some popular titles from the SEGA Saturn Collection Budget series. On the left, several new or recent releases are highlighted with small screenshots and prices, including titles like Piacaret Yukoso 2, Derby Stallion, a strategy guide for Giran's Ambition, Strikers 1945-2, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, and the Sega mascot game, Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yugi. Many of these have reservation bonuses, or are recommended by the store. On the right, a section features games under the Counterattack of Masterpieces, Satakore, Shiro, banner, listing budget-price titles like Coldcept, Thunderforce V, Dodonpachi, Bulk Slash, Metal Black, and Die Hard Arcade. Further down are other recent releases like Roommate W and Capcom Generations Volume 3. The page also includes a simple mail order form and instructions on how to place an order via fax or postcard.
There's mention of a separate service for shipping posters unfolded.
Finally, a small section lists soft and parts, including Shining Force 2i Scenario 3, Slayers Royal 2, and hardware like the Power Memory Save Cartridge and Virtua Gun. It's a straightforward mail order sheet, packed with classic Saturn titles for fans looking to expand their collection. This page features an article titled, Becoming Famous. Subtitled, Story of a Boy and Girl at the End of the 20th Century. The accompanying photograph, credited to Takashi Honma, is noted separately as not being directly related to the text. The article itself is a personal reflection, seemingly from a young person, discussing their experiences with school transfers and the difficulties of adjusting. A significant portion of the narrative focuses on a deep fascination with the world of games and a strong ambition to become a game creator. The author mentions reading a book by Kenji Ino, the visionary developer known for his unique projects like D and Enemy Zero, games that pushed boundaries on platforms like the Saturn. The piece contemplates the desire for recognition and fame, concluding with broader observations on society and education in Japan at the time. It's a thoughtful look at youthful dreams rooted in the expanding game industry of the late 90s. This page features the weekly columns from Saturn Times. The Do Moge Mo column, in its 6th installment, discusses the challenge of interacting with others when your world is steeped in fantasy, illustrated by Suzuki Miso. The Operation Summit column, in its 10th installment, dives into deep otaku culture, highlighting a surprising discovery.
A high school girl's used math notebook found at a Bolsera shop.
Illustrations by Mashino Henmaru depict various used items found, including slang terms like hapai and mameko, alongside the notebook and jelly. There's also a peculiar anecdote titled, Saturn is Here, about a UFO sighting over Tokyo where an alien demands Earth, illustrated with what appears to be a PlayStation console, which is certainly unexpected in a Saturn publication. The illustrator also shares a personal note about starting to use the internet. The page includes a brief profile for writer Tsuruoka Hosai. It's a mix of social commentary, cultural exploration, and quirky humor typical of the magazine's style.
This page features the 35th installment of the comic strip column by Samshing Yoshimatsu. The author humorously depicts himself suffering from SEGA Saturn disease, impatiently awaiting official news about Dreamcast software releases. Despite this, his passion remains firmly rooted in the Sega Saturn, proclaiming its games are the best in the world. He discusses his enjoyment of wrestling games like WWF and All Japan Pro Wrestling, highlighting the stunner move and the superior quality of the Saturn versions compared to others, even mentioning Virtual Fighter. The arrival of a Sega Saturn supporters club Creedrom brings him joy, momentarily alleviating his symptoms, though the realization that Virtual Fighter 3 is exclusive to Dreamcast causes a relapse. The bottom profile notes, Samshing Yoshimatsu is an anime creator who worked on Trigun, a pro wrestling fan, and his next column will appear in 2 weeks. This page presents 3 distinct columns. Teruo Kurokawa's Hyper Column Free Talk Gallery recounts his experiences in Portugal and England related to Expo 98, detailing the historical connections between Portugal and Japan, Lisbon's architecture, food, and cultural blend. He draws on his background in music, film, and game promotion at SEGA and Digicube. Ikebukuro Sara's Virtual Crash by Toyohiko Yoshioka covers arcade gaming, with a focus on games like Spike-Out, Beatmania, and the Naomi arcade board, along with anticipation for Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Dreamcast releases. Yoshioka, a programmer, is currently studying DirectX. Lastly, Yukun this week offers a personal anecdote about a child's development in daycare, focusing on language skills and affection, intertwined with the author's return to Virtua Fighter and his preferred arcade locations. This page features a column by game musician Hayama Koji, known for his work on games like Cho Aniki. He introduces himself and his background, having released 9 albums and performed live since gaining recognition with the Cho Aniki game CD 6 years prior. Koji, a talkative musician with much to share, dedicates this column to the power of words, specifically contrasting standard Japanese with the Kansai dialect. He explores the concept of kotodama, the spiritual power of words, and how language shapes personality and communication. Growing up with standard Japanese in Yokohama, he now finds it lacks the charisma and individuality of the Kansai dialect, which he feels makes people seem brighter and more engaging. He shares personal anecdotes about how using or being around the Kansai dialect affects his mood and interactions. Koji believes the Kansai dialect is stronger and more expressive, even offering tips that mastering it can make life easier. The page also announces the release of his latest album, Taikoku, Empire, and the re-release of older albums including Cho Aniki, Super Hayama, Ane, and Game Music is Dead. Readers are invited to send feedback via postcard. This page celebrates the game Machi, known as Machi, Unmei no Kusaten, designating October 11th as its anniversary. The Town Bulletin Board column, now on its 18th installment, delves into the game's world and its real-life setting. One segment features players revisiting a real-life location depicted in the game, specifically, a rooftop scene. A special project highlights a walking tour of Shibuya, mapping out key in-game locations like cafes, record shops, and parks for fans to explore in the real world, based on the game's stage. The column also introduces the dedicated staff, nicknamed Machi Baka, who are clearly passionate about the game and its connection to Shibuya. There's even a tip section drawing parallels between classic RPG concepts, like those in Dragon Quest, and everyday life, using examples like arcade games and dealing with pests, framed as critical hits. A small note mentions the birthday of the character Kima. It's a great example of how Machi uniquely blends its narrative with real-world Tokyo locations. This page provides a strategy guide for the beginning of Shining Force 2 Ice Scenario 3, the Ice Wall of the Evil God's Temple. Following the events of Scenario 2, Julian's army has reached Aspia, and is now preparing to march north towards Lematest to confront the forces threatening the revival of the Thousand-Year Kingdom. The guide covers the initial area, Escapia town outskirts, and Escapia Castle, providing maps of both locations with key points of interest labeled. It details the conditions required to trigger the main event that progresses the story, which occurs after an event inside the castle and exiting the town. An important event highlighted is the opportunity to recruit the character Pendolph near the ruined wall before leaving town. The page also mentions a special weapon, the Justice Sword, obtainable in the town outskirts if players saved all the refugees in Scenario 1. There's a list of items available at the town's item shop, offering standard healing and basic stat-boosting gear. The concept of synchronicity is explained, detailing how choices made in previous scenarios, like saving refugees or recruiting certain characters, affect events and interactions in Scenario 3, including potential companion recruitment like Pendolph. A character profile is included for Pendolph, listing his starting stats, equipment, abilities, and a brief lore description. Finally, a trivia entry provides a short note on King Benetrim of the Estepia Republic and his role. The Shining Force 2 strategy guide continues, covering battles 14 and 15. Battle 14 focuses on clearing the field of enemies, including Gigantonts, Hellhounds, and Slashbats. A red dragon can be recruited if a bugbear is spared. Beware of poison attacks. Battle 15, by the Thousand Mile Bank, features a boss fight against a hell succubus. Tricky terrain with defensive trees encourages luring enemies. Expect Gigantonts, Hellhounds, Hydras,
and /bat reinforcements. Manage poison, paralysis, and slow effects. If conditions are met from a prior battle, the General Spirited can be recruited after the battle begins. Use monster affinity weapons and magic, and be aware of the boss's freeze spell. This page continues the strategy guide for Shining Force 2, I Scenario 3, focusing on the Evil God's Shrine battle. The upper part displays a map of the eastern Parmakia continent, revealing previously unseen areas north of the Great Wall and the Holy River. It also charts the paths taken by the Symbios, Medion, and Julian forces throughout the campaign up to Battle 15. The guide then emphasizes the critical role of unit compatibility, or affinity, in the recent battles 14 and 15, as discussed on the previous page. It reiterates the basic weapon triangle. Swords are strong against spears, spears against axes, and axes against swords, and notes that units also have affinities based on their type and the enemy's weapon or type. Understanding these strengths and weaknesses is key to strategic combat. Finally, there's a table detailing enemy unit weaknesses for battles 1 through 15. This chart shows how effective different attack types, sword, spear, axe, bow, magic, holy, and beast, are against a variety of enemies encountered, helping players plan their attacks effectively based on enemy types. This page features strategy guides for 2 major mecha simulation titles. The top section showcases a perfect guide for Super Robot Wars, depicting a lineup of iconic mechs from various series including Evangelion, Ideon, Gundam, Mazinger Z, Getter Robo, and Daytarn 3. The description highlights the game's premise. These familiar robots unite to protect Earth from a powerful enemy force, delving into the battles of the London Bell team and uncovering mysteries. It promises a complete strategy guide for this epic title, detailing its 296 pages, a 5-size, full color, and price of 1,400 yen. Across the middle, large text announces, "Sold out, followed by more, different quality," indicating the popularity of these guides and emphasizing their high standard. The bottom section presents the perfect guide for Mobile Suit Gundam, Giren's Ambition, featuring artwork of Giren Zabi and mobile suits. This guide is described as providing easy-to-understand strategies using maps, introductions to in-game events and characters, a complete list and requirements for weapon development, and comprehensive information for playing the game, including essential elements. It also introduces 3 hidden modes, allowing players to start with new forces, and is a complete strategy book covering event trigger conditions. This guide is 168 pages, a 5-size, and priced at 1,200 yen. Together, the page highlights essential companions for players tackling these deep mecha strategy games. The next page features a survey postcard for readers to provide feedback on the magazine and their gaming habits. It includes clear instructions on how to fill out the survey, particularly regarding formatting numerical answers within the provided boxes. The questions cover demographic information like gender, age, and occupation, as well as reader preferences such as the number of SEGA Saturn games owned, other gaming magazines read, and how often they participate in the survey. The survey also asks for opinions on specific magazine content and requests readers to select hardware and software they own or plan to purchase from extensive lists provided elsewhere on the page. These lists cover articles featured in the current issue, various gaming hardware including SEGA Saturn and Dreamcast, and a wide array of SEGA Saturn and upcoming Dreamcast software titles. This page features information on 2 official guidebooks for Sakura Wars 2. Thou Shalt Not Die. The top section promotes the Sakura Wars 2 Complete Strategy Guide Days of Love and War. This guide focuses on in-depth gameplay assistance, detailing the LIPS, linkage impulse system, choices, character-specific routes, battle strategies, and a comprehensive story digest. It's highlighted as a substantial volume, with a special binding for ease of use, packed with data to challenge every possibility in the game. The guide is a 5-size, 464 pages, full color, and is priced at 1,800 yen. An illustration featuring the main cast of characters is shown alongside the description. The lower section advertises the Sakura Wars 2 Original Illustrations and Setting Materials Collection. This book is a comprehensive collection covering the artistic and developmental aspects of the game. It includes original character art, setting designs, storyboards from the animated sequences, details on the Kubu mechs, CG artwork, and interviews with the cast and staff. Planned bonuses mentioned are a poster drawn by Hidenori Matsubara and a papercraft model of the Grand Imperial Theater with chibi characters. This book is a 4-size, 160 pages, and priced at 2,000 yen. A character portrait is displayed next to its details. Both books are published by SoftBank Publishing. This page dives into the cutting edge of arcade gaming with a report on the 1998 AM show, highlighting the biggest news. The unveiling of Sega's new Naomi arcade board. Excitingly, this board boasts complete compatibility with the Dreamcast, hinting at incredibly high-quality arcade experiences potentially coming home. The article details the Naomi booth, which took up a significant portion of Sega's space, and mentions several key titles running on the new hardware, including the thrilling zombie-blasting sequel, The House of the Dead 2, the sports action of Dynamite Baseball 98, and the tentatively titled action game Blood Bullet. Screenshots of these games are shown, giving a glimpse of their graphical prowess. The report also raves about a technical demo featuring a buggy, showcasing stunning water and lighting effects on Naomi. Beyond Sega, the page touches upon other manufacturers' efforts, mentioning Taito's Netboard, which uses IC cards for game delivery, and Zeta's compact Alex 64 board, compatible with Nintendo 64 technology. The overall tone is one of excitement for the advancements in arcade hardware and the potential for these experiences to transition to home consoles. This page dives into SEGA Saturn Magazine's top picks from the AM show, highlighting 4 recommended arcade titles. Konami features prominently with Dance Dance Revolution, a unique dance simulation where you step on panels to the music, described as surprisingly fun and a chance to look cool while dancing. Their latest rhythm game, Beatmania Third Mix, also drew massive crowds, packed with new songs and play modes like 2-player battles. Namco presents 2 distinct gun games, Gunman Wars, an exciting shooting battle where a camera puts your face directly into the game as a target, and Cool Gunman, a simple yet amusing 2-player versus game involving shooting ground sensors to make cans pop up. Sega showcases Boat Race 2, a reference exhibit for a new metal game iteration of Excite Boat, praised for its incredibly realistic boat movement and drifting. Beyond the games, the report notes that merchandise sales were finally permitted this year, with various companies selling goods and UFO catcher prizes to enthusiastic collectors. The AM Show Check also points out hidden gems, particularly at the Atari booth, where numerous games with unconventional ideas, unlike anything typically seen in Japan, were on display, including the pizza delivery game Radical Bikers. This page continues the 1998 AM show report, focusing on upcoming arcade titles. The Future Neo Fighting Games section tackles the perception of staleness in the genre, highlighting quality titles from Capcom like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. 3 promising games are featured. Bloody Roar 2, nearing completion and promising speedy transforming combat. Asura Blade, designed with a simple system for beginners. And Fighting Layer, a 3D fighter on the System 12 board notable for featuring characters from Arika's Street Fighter X series, born from a collaboration with Namco. The report also covers gun shooting games, noting the distinct trend towards zombie themes following House of the Dead. SNK brings back the original with Beastbusters. Second Nightmare, supporting 2 players. Konami's Evil Knight allows for 3 players simultaneously, and includes branching paths for multiple endings. Sega showcases the highly anticipated Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, a 3D shooter on the powerful Model 3 board that faithfully recreates the movie experience. Beyond the games, the AM show is noted for its increasingly elaborate stage shows and character greetings. A unique highlight was a dialogue session between Sega's Toshihiro Nagoshi and Capcom's Yoshiki Okamoto, where they discussed titles like Spike Out and the newly revealed Power Stone, even hinting at the possibility of future collaboration. The event also featured the appearance of the Miniskirt Police Group, adding to the show's entertainment factor. The AM Show report features a celebration of classic arcade revivals, with Atari's Gauntlet Legends and Konami's Gradius IV leading the charge. The shooting genre is examined, showcasing titles like Taito's Operation Tiger and Ray Crisis, Cave's Dangun Feveron, and Sikyo's Pilot Kids. The report also highlights the enduring appeal of mechanical attractions, including photo booths, train simulators, and a stress measuring game. A final section examines market shifts, noting Konami's pioneering role in music games and Sega's promising Naomi board. The report concludes by emphasizing the significance of observing these developments in the evolving arcade landscape.
This page is the second part of the AM Show report, focusing on a major title that has just been revealed and is generating significant attention, running on Sega's Naomi board. The spotlight is on Tecmo's Dead or Alive 2, featuring an emergency interview with producer Tomonobu Itagaki. The page highlights the surprise announcement of the game at the show. Itagaki discusses the development, noting they had been working on the game for a while, but hardware capabilities finally caught up. He emphasizes the decision to develop on the Naomi board, citing its superior performance and cost-effectiveness. The interview also touches upon integrating elements, including specific characters, from the previous release, Dead or Alive Plus. Its clear development was still in its early stages at this point, but the reveal signals a major step forward for the acclaimed fighting series on powerful new arcade hardware. This page continues the report on Dead or Alive 2, focusing on the demo shown at the AM Show, and featuring an emergency interview with director Tomonobu Itagaki. The images showcase impressive renders and screenshots from the game, including dynamic action shots and character close-ups, specifically highlighting characters like Kasumi. The page titles refer to the demo footage seen at the show and questions about the game. Itagaki discusses the demo's high-quality visuals, which are noted as being surprisingly representative of the actual gameplay. He touches upon new gameplay elements, mentioning concepts like all-directional explosion and the vibrant, interactive stages. Regarding the story, he confirms there is one but keeps details under wraps. He confirms the game is being developed on Sega's Naomi board, praising its capabilities. Development is proceeding quickly, building upon work done for Dead or Alive Plus. A key question is posed about the notorious bust morphing from previous titles, to which Itagaki responds humorously, suggesting players will have to wait and see the actual game footage. The overall tone indicates significant excitement for Dead or Alive 2's leap onto powerful new hardware and the evolution of the series. There's also a small image showing development on a computer. This page continues the AM Show report, delving deeper into Sega's powerful new Naomi arcade board and their strategic direction. The focus shifts to an emergency interview with Masaki Matsuno, the head of Sega's AM4 research division. The page showcases the Naomi Universal Cabinet, a significant piece of hardware designed by AM4. Matsuno explains the concept behind this cabinet, aiming to establish a global standard by leveraging Sega's extensive arcade development know-how. A key element highlighted is the integration of slots for the Dreamcast's visual memory system, VMS, allowing for connectivity and gameplay interaction between the arcade and the upcoming home console. Matsuno discusses AM4's role in the cabinet design and reveals their division is also now creating game content, citing a highly realistic demo titled Buggy as an example, which demonstrates AM4's move into actual video game development. The article praises the unique design of the Naomi cabinet, its high-resolution display, and support for analog controls, noting the impressive visual quality displayed at the show. This page continues the in-depth look at Sega's Naomi arcade board and the role of their AM4 division, featuring an emergency interview with AM4 head, Masaki Matsuno. The main focus is the Buggy demo, shown at the AM Show, which is presented as definitive proof of Naomi's real-time rendering power. Matsuno confirms this demo runs live on the actual Naomi hardware and was developed by AM4 in just 2 months to showcase the board's impressive visual capabilities, easily surpassing traditional pre-rendered video. The interview also touches on new technologies seen in games like The House of the Dead 2, highlighting improvements in areas like light gun tracking and cabinet design. Different cabinet types for The House of the Dead 2 are shown, with particular attention given to the theater-style cabinet, noted for its immersive experience. Matsuno discusses the integration of the Dreamcast's visual memory system, VMS, via memory card slots on Naomi, emphasizing ongoing efforts to connect the arcade experience with home console gameplay, allowing for seamless interaction between the systems. AM4's expertise extends beyond game development to include cabinet and mechanism design, underscoring their comprehensive approach to arcade entertainment. This page announces Falcom Classics 2 for the Sega Saturn, bringing 2 legendary titles to the console. Releasing on October 29, 1998, this compilation features enhanced versions of YS2 and Taiyu no Shinden Azteca 2. YS2, the direct continuation of the story from the first Falcom Classics, is highlighted for its excellent scenario and memorable characters. Taiyu no Shinden Azteca 2 is presented as an adventure game utilizing an icon system and featuring beautiful CG sequences. Both games have been significantly updated to leverage the Saturn's capabilities. Graphics and BGM have been completely remade based on the originals. Wise 2 specifically includes new animated opening and ending movies, and event scenes feature voice acting for a more immersive experience. The game is available in 2 editions. A premium limited edition, which includes a soundtrack CD and exclusive digital extras, and a regular special edition. This release offers a great opportunity for both longtime Falcom fans and newcomers to experience these classic adventures with modern enhancements. This page features an advertisement for the first Falcom Classics compilation for the Sega Saturn, now available as part of the budget Satakali series. Building on the announcement of Falcom Classics 2, this ad highlights the original title, which includes 3 classic Falcom RPGs, YS, Dragon Slayer, and Xanadu. The striking artwork showcases characters from the YS series, featuring Adol Kristin and another character, with the evocative phrase, "I wanted to meet you one more time," emphasizing the nostalgic return of these titles. Crucially, the page promotes the interconnectedness of the 2 compilations, stating that save data from the YS game included in this first collection can be used with Falcom Classics 2 to unlock special voice-acted event scenes, offering a compelling reason for fans to own both. Available at a budget price of 2,800 yen, this release is positioned as essential for those looking to fully experience the upcoming sequel. Additionally, a promotion is offered where customers can enter a lottery to win an original YS character telephone card. This page announces an upcoming book titled Making of Red Company, set to delve into the history of the renowned Japanese game developer and creative studios. The striking visual features 2 men with exaggerated features, likely key figures from the company, set against a backdrop of vibrant, traditional Japanese festival elements. The text confirms the book will explore Red Company's journey from its founding to the present day, highlighting its creation process, key members including the influential Oji Hiroi, iconic characters, and significant projects. Fans can look forward to details on their beloved series such as the classic Mashin Hero Wataru, the epic Far East of Eden RPGs, and the highly successful Sakura Wars franchise. The book is promised to be a comprehensive Red Company encyclopedia, packed with diverse content across 112 full-color B5 size pages. Scheduled for release in autumn, this collaboration between Red Company and SoftBank is priced at 1,300 yen, offering an in-depth look at one of Japan's most imaginative entertainment companies. This page showcases an upcoming official guidebook for the intense arcade fighting game, Cyber Troopers Virtualon, Oratorio Tangram. Featured prominently is dynamic artwork of a Virtuaphoroid, one of the powerful robot mechs players control in the game. The guide, published by SoftBank, is scheduled for release in early October, priced at 1,500 yen, spanning 224 pages in a 5 size. It promises to be an essential resource for players, covering the fundamental strategies for every Virtuoid, introducing all 11 playable machines, and providing clear explanations of controls, attack techniques, and the game's overall system. The book will also include crucial strategies for challenging the CPU opponents, and features an interview with Virtualon producer Shigeo Maruyama. Character design is credited to the renowned Hajime Katoki. This guide looks set to be a comprehensive manual for mastering the fast-paced mech combat of Virtualon Oratorio Tangram. This page presents a special bulletin for a new game titled Revival, from developer Data East. It's described as the latest entry in the Trap Adventure series, although the specific platform and price are listed as undecided, with a planned release for summer 1999. The game concept centers around solving numerous traps placed within a locked space using various items, with the goal being to escape the confined area alongside other trapped girls. The announcement highlights the return of the unique Trap Divergent Story (TDS) system, a hallmark of the series, where the narrative evolves based on how the player tackles the traps. The story kicks off with the disappearance of the protagonist's stepsister, Kishun, disrupting their peaceful daily lives together. The protagonist eventually discovers her location, a mysterious research facility situated by the sea. Heading there, he is unaware of the unimaginable events that await him. The page features character artwork, including a blonde-haired woman in a white top and a brown-haired woman in a pink dress, likely key figures in the game. The artwork is credited to Umeto Yukinori. A pair of shoes is also depicted on the ground, potentially symbolizing the disappearance mentioned in the story. This page focuses on the characters of the upcoming Data East title, Revival, also carrying the subtitle, The Sea Breeze Carries, The Girl's Screams, and Sorrow. This trap adventure game
features character designs by Umeto Yukinori, known for his animation work.
The page introduces 4 key female characters central to the game's story. We see the protagonist's missing stepsister, Kishun, who is described as gentle and secretly adoring him. There is also EIO, a bright and energetic athlete, Raiko, an adult researcher characterized by her social intelligence and mature charm, and Yuzuki, a timid and shy student who wears glasses. Brief descriptions and physical stats are provided for each character, giving insight into their personalities and roles. The page concludes by teasing that details on the game's system, story, and interviews will be available elsewhere.
This page dives deeper into the upcoming Sega Saturn title, Revival, following the character introductions on the previous page. The focus here is a special interview featuring producer Yoshihiro Yamamoto, director Hiroshi Takahashi, and character designer Yukinori Umeto. The developers explain that the theme of Revive revolves around love, family, siblings, lovers, and people helping each other to live. They clarify that the title Revive signifies both bringing things back to life and regaining one's energy. Gameplay-wise, the game is described as a trap adventure, emphasizing that failure doesn't necessarily mean restarting from the beginning.
Instead, players should use the experience gained to overcome challenges, encouraging repeated play. Traps are designed to be solved using everyday items found within the research facility setting, rather than relying on futuristic gadgets like laser guns. The developers aimed for more freedom in the gameplay compared to their previous works, allowing for more branching in the story and increasing the number of traps. Character designer Yukinori Umeto, known for titles like Silent Mobius, shares his impression of Revive as a serious adventure, noting that despite featuring female characters prominently, the core game is earnest and intends to appeal to both male and female players. He also discusses his desire for the package art to reflect this broad appeal. The page also features a signed illustration by Umeto. There are confirmed to be over 10 characters in total, including important supporting roles. This page highlights Data East's presence at the Tokyo Game Show 98 Autumn, focusing on their premium merchandise offerings. A major draw is the advance reveal of a super popular costume, showing off a character likely from the upcoming title, Revival. Data East's lineup for the show includes the Mystery Adventure Revival, platform still undecided, 2 entries in the popular Jake Hunter detective story series, Detective Jinguji Saburo 7, and the tentatively titled Jake Hunter Now and Then, the puzzle classic Magical Drop 2 ITGS version, Side Pocket 3 for the Sega Saturn collection, and even a Dreamcast title, Chao Hamaru Golf. The page also features a continuation of the interview with the developers of Revival, where they discuss the core theme of the game, centering around various forms of love, such as family, sibling, and romantic love, emphasizing interconnectedness and people helping each other. At the show, fans could get their hands on exclusive Data East merchandise at their booth, D-Mart, featuring illustrations by character designer Yukinori Umeto. These goods included items for Revival, Magical Drop, Jake Hunter, and other titles. One notable item highlighted is a limited edition Zippo lighter, featuring a unique engraving of a Revive character illustration. Expected to be highly sought after, with only 100 available. The page lists a variety of goods, like clear files, mugs, straps, and more, available for sale at the show and later at specific retailers. This page serves as the magazine's comprehensive index, detailing upcoming and newly released Sega Saturn software across various exciting categories. It features a special report section, highlighting anticipated titles such as the classic RPG Wizardry, Lil Jagaman Saga, and the adventure game Noel 3. The Coming Soon Soft section gives a sneak peek at titles nearing release, including the strategy game Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition, and the fast-paced shooter Cotton Boomerang, alongside various dating sims and visual novels like Find Love 2 Rhapsody and Lapis Lazuli Snow. New release titles feature recent arrivals like the Sega Ages compilations for I Love Mickey Mouse and I Love Donald Duck. Finally, the complete guide section promises in-depth strategies for titles aimed at hardcore players, covering games like the tactical RPG Black/Matrix and Slayer's Royal 2. The right side of the page is dominated by a beautiful anime illustration depicting several young women in yukata enjoying a summer evening under a starry sky, an artistic flourish that likely ties into the visual style of the adventure or simulation games listed within. This page features a special report on the adventure game Girl Doll Toy. The central theme explores whether love can blossom in an android. Originally released on PC and well received, this version for the SEGA Saturn is a renewal with a new scenario. The story follows the protagonist, who falls in love with Erica, a female android lacking emotions, and aims to nurture her into a complete human by overcoming various challenges. Players familiar with the PC version can enjoy this new take. The game features many female characters, including romance options with girls beyond Erica, and promises slightly naughty events. According to the special report box, the game is developed by Zakas, scheduled for a December release priced at 6,800 yen. It's classified as an adventure game and recommended for ages 18 and up, with a current completion rate of 40%. Key characters surrounding the protagonist are also introduced. Erica is the experimental android at the heart of the story. Azami is a researcher in the same lab who suggested Erica's rebirth. Professor Maruyama is a world-renowned android authority. Finally, Manager Akiyama runs a junk shop and helps the protagonist with modifications in exchange for certain conditions. This page highlights the core premise and key players in this intriguing adventure. This page features a special report on the game Real Mahjong Adventure. Umi-e Summer Waltz. The core theme highlighted is change, which is interwoven throughout the game. One aspect of change is represented by fossils, likened to the protagonist's passion, describing how organisms change over vast periods. The other primary aspect is scenario change, where the storyline diverges based on player choices and interactions, meaning subsequent playthroughs can lead to different events and outcomes. The page showcases illustrations of several female characters in summer yukata, emphasizing the game's setting. Smaller screenshots provide glimpses into character interactions and dialogue. According to the special report section, this is a real mahjong adventure game developed by SETA. It is scheduled for release on November 5th, priced at 6,800 yen. The game is classified as an adventure title and is recommended for all ages. The presentation suggests a lighthearted, summer-themed adventure focusing on character relationships and mahjong gameplay with branching story paths. This page continues the special report, delving into the setting of the game, the scenic town of Hamagasaki. Described as a place surrounded by the sea, mountains, and clear skies, Hamagasaki retains a traditional atmosphere while offering various spots for players to explore. The game allows players to visit numerous locations within Hamagasaki, including the beach, mountains, shopping street, forest park, fossil museum, library, and more, as depicted on the map. Player actions can even unlock additional areas. The page features screenshots showcasing different scenes and character interactions in these locations. You see characters enjoying summer activities like splitting watermelons on the sandy beach, relaxing at the beach house, exploring a mountain path, and visiting the bustling shopping street. Other scenes include staying at the inn, visiting the fossil museum where ancient shark teeth are discussed, reading at the library, and watching the sunset from the Cape, highlighted as a lover's spot. The dialogue snippets provide glimpses into the character personalities and the everyday moments players will experience while exploring Hamagasaki. This page details the weekday gameplay loop of the game, focusing on the fossil excavation part and the fossil Grand Prix. During the week, fossil hunting is automated. The player's main interaction is trading the unearthed fossils. The ultimate goal is the fossil Grand Prix, where players must assemble a set of 8 fossils. The page explains that forming this set involves unique rules, likened to mahjong, where specific combinations like pairs and sets of 3, along with fossil rarity and other factors, significantly impact the score. Friday nights are dedicated to trading fossils with other participants to build the best possible collection for the Grand Prix. An interesting point highlighted is that the rivals in the Fossil Grand Prix include characters from the classic mahjong title Super Real Mahjong P7, linking the games in a fun crossover. The page also introduces the Active Talk System, ATS, a core interaction mechanic. This system presents players with time-sensitive situations, where they must choose how the protagonist responds, or even if they respond at all. Examples illustrate different scenarios and the resulting outcomes, based on whether the player ignores a mysterious voice, listens carefully, reacts impulsively, or maintains composure. This system adds depth to character interactions and decision-making. This page details the events of the second day in the Hamasaki Tour game,
focusing on narrative segments and character interactions. A key part of the day involves voting for which girl will take the role of the Miko for the Spirit Boat Procession, featuring characters like Mizuki, Tamami Minasato, and Yukari Mimiyoshi among the candidates. Screenshots illustrate the voting scene and a character in a Miko outfit. The page also covers specific scenarios encountered, such as a beach event where Yukari finds and gets a necklace tangled, depicted with character CGS in swimsuits. In the evening, a test of courage event takes place, offering another opportunity for interaction with a chosen character. These segments highlight the game's adventure elements and character development. The bottom section features a substantial giveaway of Super Real Mahjong SPOP 7 merchandise, including various collectibles like newsletters, clear files, mousepads, standees, and posters, reinforcing the crossover link discussed previously. This page presents a special report on the development of No Carol 3, offering insights from the developer, Flightplan. The article features an interview with Flightplan's Masami Watanabe, discussing the creative direction and technical aspects of the game. Key topics include the focus on elevating the Bishoujo game genre, the technical decision to transition from movie-based conversation scenes to animated still images to improve visual quality and avoid compression artifacts inherent to Saturn's video playback, and their commitment to a fully digital workflow for all assets, including movies and audio. They highlight their development philosophy, emphasizing the pursuit of quality that satisfies the user. The page also provides a profile of Flightplan, detailing their history and previous works, such as titles in the Dokusei series, and the strategy RPG Black/Matrix IDEX. Visuals include the prominent No Chill 3 logo, character artwork of high school girls, fitting the game's premise of students caught up in events involving terrorists and hacking, a screenshot showing the game's tactical or simulation elements, and a photograph of Masami Watanabe. The report indicates the game is 78% complete, offering a glimpse into its progress during development. There's also a small, perhaps humorous, quote about observing high school girls for research. This page features a special interview with Takeshi Kame, the executive producer for Pioneer LDC, discussing the No Kill series, particularly the upcoming No Kill 3. Mr. Kame provides the publisher's perspective, following up on the developer's insights from the previous page. He talks about targeting the core Saturn audience and portraying high school girls realistically, even when unexpected events occur. The interview also touches upon the game's technical aspects, noting a focus on high-quality sound, aiming for near 32 kHz fidelity, despite the hardware limitations, which is considered top-tier for Saturn games. Animation and voice quality are highlighted as key strengths, promising the best on the platform. The page also includes information about Pioneer LDC's presence at the Tokyo Game Show 98 Autumn, mentioning that attendees can play a demo version of No Kill 3, attend talk shows, and purchase exclusive merchandise like phone cards, mousepads, and calendars. Visuals include a photo of Mr. Kame and expressive character artwork from the game, underscoring the focus on character depiction and high visual quality. The interview concludes by encouraging fans to experience the game's quality, assuring them it won't disappoint. This page features a special report on Wizardry. Lilgamin's Saga, a collection remastering the first 3 classic Wizardry games. Touted as the ancestor of 3D RPGs, this Sega Saturn release is highlighted as a powered-up version compared to its PlayStation counterpart. The magazine gives it a 90% completion rating. The game offers multiple modes to satisfy both hardcore veterans and newcomers. While the core gameplay system remains unchanged, staying true to the original's deep dungeon crawling, the visuals have been significantly updated, with beautiful polygon graphics for the dungeons. Importantly for purists, there's also an option to switch back to the classic wireframe or simple graphics, fully reproducing the look of the old PC versions. A major selling point emphasized is the inclusion of Saturn-exclusive features not found on the PS version, most notably, the return of the autosave function. This feature automatically saves progress during dungeon delves, such as after battles or opening chests, adding tension as it prevents easy resets, a characteristic praised by the reviewer. An auto-mapping feature is also included, making exploration easier for players unfamiliar with the series' traditional reliance on manual mapping. The game also includes a monster and item museum to view collected information. This looks set to be the definitive console version for fans. This page delves into the 3 classic scenarios included in Wizardry. Lilgamin's Saga. First up is Wizardry, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, the groundbreaking 1981 original that laid the foundation for 3D RPGs. The goal here is to retrieve the amulet from the Archmage Werdana, originally held by King Trevor. It's a pure dungeon crawl, focused on exploration, combat, character progression, and item hunting. Following that is Wizardry, Knight of Diamonds, the direct sequel, set in Shalogaman. This scenario is designed to be played with characters from the first game, and features challenging enemies from the start, requiring high-level magic to progress. Its objective is to find the Rod of Nilda. Finally, Wizardry, Legacy of Lilgamen takes place decades later. Players can import characters from the first two games, though they are treated as descendants, starting back at level 1 with reduced stats. A unique design choice. This scenario shifts focus towards puzzles and events, which must be solved to proceed, and character alignment plays a significant role, with certain areas only accessible to good or evil parties. A key feature highlighted is the ability to transfer characters between scenarios, which is essential for experiencing the story sequentially, particularly for Knight of Diamonds. The page shows screenshots illustrating dungeon views, combat, character creation, and the character transfer system, along with details on enemy stats. Playing the scenarios in order, transferring your party through the trials, is presented as the authentic Wizardry experience. This page delves into the core mechanics and historical impact of Wizardry, particularly as presented in Hillimilgamen Saga. It highlights the detailed character creation system, allowing players to build characters fitting their imagination by assigning attributes like race, alignment, and skills. Growth is also covered, emphasizing the exciting and sometimes unpredictable nature of level-ups, where stat increases are random, adding to the thrill of powering up your party. The challenge of the dungeon itself is a major focus, described as a constant test of exploration and discovery filled with danger. The clever design of the labyrinths, including one-way doors and warp points, enhances the sense of adventure. The magazine places Wizardry prominently in RPG history, noting its foundational role since 1981 and its influence on subsequent computer RPGs. It posits that the genre was largely divided into 3D, first-person Wizardry-likes, and 2D, top-down, Ultima-likes. Wizardry's contributions include pioneering party-based exploration and incorporating elements later found in roguelikes. While earlier titles prioritized mechanics and dungeon crawling over explicit story or visuals compared to Ultima, the page notes that scenario and visual elements were significantly enhanced, starting with the new Wizardry series, Scenario 6. Screenshots throughout illustrate character creation, combat, status screens showing character progression, and the classic wireframe dungeon view from Scenarios 1 and 2, proving grounds of the Mad Overlord and Knight of Diamonds. This page continues exploring the charm of Wizardry, focusing on the combat system, item rewards, and the essential facilities found in the town of Lilgamen throughout the first three scenarios. Combat is described as harsh but rewarding, with the excitement of finding rare items being a major draw. Item drops after battle are random, and the chase for powerful gear adds significant replayability, driving players to collect the vast number of items available. The page shows a combat screen and details on an item like the Dragon Slayer sword. The town facilities are vital for survival and progression. Voltax's trading post is where adventurers buy and sell equipment and items. Gilgamesh's tavern is the place to form and manage your party before heading into the dungeon. The Temple of Kant is crucial for healing status ailments and resurrecting fallen party members. Finally, the Adventurer's Inn allows characters to rest and recover HP and magic points, and importantly, check if they have accumulated enough experience to level up. There's also mention of a training ground for character creation and job changes. The page references Scenario 3, Legacy of Lilgamen, and lists later games in the series, including the return of Werdana, Heart of the Maelstrom, and the 1996 release, Bane of Cosmic Force. The included screenshots demonstrate the interfaces for the shop, tavern, temple, and inn. The Sega Saturn game Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's ambition is spotlighted, with the announcement of details about its strategy guide. The guide provides special data scenarios allowing players to relive iconic battles and unique conditions from the Gundam universe, such as Operation Capture of Solomon, and scenarios in Africa featuring characters like Shiro Amada. The guide emphasizes the importance of producing special units early on, highlighting the GP-01 and G-Titans. G-Titans are praised for their high mobility and underwater capabilities, vital before advanced technology is available. The GP-01 Full Vernian is noted as a strong space unit. The game, a Bandai title released on October 8 for 6,800 yen, is a single-player experience played via a data disk. Screenshots reveal strategic maps, unit combat, and unit details. The game appears to focus on the Principality of Zeon's perspective, with a prominent illustration resembling Char Aznable. The Solomon attack scenario in Mobile Suit Gundam. Giran's ambition centers on the Federation's assault on the Zeon fortress. The key to victory is defeating Dulzel Zabi and his Big Zam mobile armor. Federation forces utilize GM-type mobile suits, initially prioritizing the BD-2 unit. The Big Zam's wide-area attacks pose a significant threat. After taking down the BD-2, the player should focus on eliminating the Big Zam. Defenses include Zaku's and Rikdom's. Zeon reinforcements from Abeo Aqua, featuring notable pilots, will add to the challenge. A side note covers the Blue Destiny clash of units near Solomon. Historically, the Battle of Solomon saw a massive Federation deployment. The Zeon solar system weapon inflicted heavy damage, allowing counterattacks, including the Big Zam, and causing substantial Federation losses, including General Revel. The Surprise of Jablo scenario in Mobile Suit Gundam. Giran's ambition simulates Char Aznable's attack on the Earth Federation's Jaburo headquarters. The objective is to successfully raid Jaburo to gain a war advantage for Zeon. The strategy guide stresses choosing the correct entry route into the vast underground base to avoid congestion. Once inside, the focus is on luring and surrounding Federation forces. Amuro Ray, piloting the RX-78-2 Gundam, is identified as a significant threat. The guide also references the Gundam Side Story team near California and New York, along with mobile armor battles in space. Taburo, the Earth Federation's largest underground base, is located in the Amazon River Basin and was heavily camouflaged. Char's pursuit of the White Base led him to its entrance. The page features screenshots of strategic maps, battles, and operational menus. This page details some special scenarios and data configurations available in Mobile Suit Gundam. Giran's ambition. The threat of the United Nations scenario puts the Earth Federation in a tough spot, starting with only Side 3 as a base. It's a high-difficulty, non-canonical situation where you have to overcome a massive disadvantage. Conversely, the attack of the Zion Dukedom scenario flips the script for Zeon players. You start with maximum technology, and almost every unit already developed from turn 1. The initial force is also unique, with Char in a Saikamu Zaku, Slender in a Gelgoog, the Black Tri-Stars in Kamphers, and Rambaral surprisingly in a Gyeon. This setup allows for unprecedented strategic options from the start. The Seal That Was Cancelled section highlights scenarios focused on ace pilots and custom mobile suits. You can produce units like Char's custom Rikdom, Casval's Gundam, and the Regelgu, which are usually impossible to develop. Special pilots like Marion Welch can also join you. While Zakus still form the core of your army, having powerful aces like Char and the Gundam is a game-changer. The ability to produce the Zaku 2 Kai is also noted, hinting at the lifting of a restriction, possibly related to the Antarctic Treaty's nuclear seal. These special datasets offer unique ways to experience the game outside of the standard campaigns. Virtual Call S for the SEGA Saturn is a dating simulation game where players use a teleconference system to build relationships with girls. The goal is to understand their emotions, navigate conversations, and eventually go on dates, potentially creating summer vacation memories. Success depends on skillful communication. The game, published by Kid, is scheduled for release on October 29th, and limited edition, priced at 6,800 yen, 2 discs. Offers personalized calls from voice actors, addressing the player as Yobikake-kun. A standard edition costs 6,300 yen. The game is rated for ages 18 and up. Pre-orders are encouraged for the limited edition. This page continues the introduction to the SEGA Saturn dating simulation, Virtual Call S. It provides a quick review of the game's flow, which involves accessing the virtual call system, calling girls at their homes, and eventually going on real-life dates. Success hinges on building rapport through conversation, as making a good impression allows you to get a girl's home number and pursue dates more actively. The page also shows examples of the game interface, including the multi-person party line and private just the two of us calls, as well as a dating scenario. There's a helpful tip explaining you can hide the text window to better appreciate the game's graphics. The page then introduces one of the featured girls, Kotono Sayonji, described as a sheltered young lady from a prominent family, encouraged to use the system by her brother. Her profile and personality are highlighted through screenshots and anecdotes, like her being late for a meeting because she didn't know how to buy a ticket. A specific date event is also detailed, where you help Kotono find a replacement for a broken favorite mug at a department store, showcasing her endearing reaction when the mug is found. This page continues the introduction to the characters of the SEGA Saturn dating simulation, Virtual Call S. It presents two more potential partners for the player to connect with. First is Irina Morimoto, described as a seemingly quiet and shy girl who is actually a cosplay otaku. Despite her initial meekness, she expresses herself energetically through her hobby, even surprisingly showing up to dates in costume. Screenshots show her in glasses and overalls appearing a bit gloomy, contrasting sharply with her vibrant tiger cosplay persona seen cheering and playing games like Wonder Police, highlighting the game's depiction of her dual nature. Next is Miyako Sakura, portrayed as an older, mature office worker who nonetheless exhibits unexpectedly childish moments. She appears stressed, making it difficult to initiate dates, but becomes endearingly cute when she gets excited during activities, such as at Wonder Police, or upon seeing a real motorcycle, which she finds a great way to relieve stress. The page also hints at her developing feelings for the protagonist, as she questions their relationship's appearance, and asks about past dating experiences. The screenshots capture her range, from stern or upset to warmly smiling and interested in the protagonist's life. This page continues the introduction to potential partners in the SEGA Saturn dating simulation, Virtual Call S. We meet Madoka Fukami, a high school student who is constantly busy with her part-time job at the family restaurant chain Pia Carrot, leaving her little time to socialize with boys. Her friends apparently find her taste in hobbies questionable, but she's shown to be incredibly enthusiastic about things she enjoys, such as attending a live concert, which left a strong impression. Screenshots show Madoka in various settings, including expressing excitement and reacting shyly to being observed. Next is Ruria Ebihara, a character whose appearance and manner of speaking make her seem like an elementary or middle school student, despite potentially being older. She's depicted as difficult to pin down for a date, even while making virtual calls when bored. Interestingly, after providing your phone number, you receive a bold message on your answering machine asking to go out. The content highlights a date where Ruria arrived late for a shopping trip she suggested, and later cried profusely while watching a children's anime movie, particularly a scene involving an animal. This suggests a surprisingly emotional side to her character. The screenshots feature Ruria in different outfits, showcasing her youthful look, including an image where she is clearly upset and crying. The text hints at the challenges and unexpected moments this relationship might involve. This page introduces the romance simulation game Find Love 2 Rhapsody. The game puts you in the shoes of a high school student during his final summer vacation, filled with drama, love, and dreams. The main goal is to navigate relationships and achieve your aspirations during this pivotal period. Compared to its predecessor, Find Love 2 offers a higher degree of freedom in how you manage your time and engage in conversations. The game features 7 girls living in a mansion whom you can pursue. A unique element is that the protagonist is part of a band, and you can even name your own band within the game. The screenshots highlight key aspects of the gameplay, showing map navigation, where time progresses as you move, menu options for daily activities, and event scenes with the characters. One featured character is Anzu Ikuzawa, described as domestic and good at cooking, whom you might encounter at local shops. The game emphasizes the freedom to choose how you spend your day, whether accepting invitations or focusing on your own goals. Released by Daiki on November 19th for 6,800 yen, the page also boasts a 92% completion rate and tantalizingly hints at the inclusion of long-awaited explicit content, suggesting the game doesn't shy away from mature themes. Find Love 2 Rhapsody appears to be a detailed life simulation, where your choices directly shape the protagonist's summer and future. Find Love 2 Rhapsody, a SEGA Saturn romance sim, centers on a high school protagonist appointed manager of a mansion housing beautiful girls. His father, a powerful figure, built the mansion and the attached school. The game follows the protagonist's summer, which is poised for drama. The game features several girls: Junko, the bookish intellectual; Nagisa, a mysterious fortune-teller; Naoko, a cheerful classmate; and Megumi, an energetic cosplayer. The protagonist must navigate relationships with these varied personalities.
Screenshots showcase dialogue scenes, highlighting the visual novel and simulation aspects. The game offers a summer of potential romance and personal growth for the protagonist.
This page delves deeper into the gameplay and locations of the romance simulation Find Love 2 Rhapsody, focusing on how to have a meaningful summer vacation. It features an Ikuzawa special, highlighting the popular character Ikuzawa, shown cooking in an illustration. The game allows players to choose different conversation attitudes when talking to girls, such as normal, sweet, flirty, wild, or confession, each affecting the girl's impressions and the direction of the dialogue. The page shows examples of these interactions with different emotional icons. Key locations in the game are introduced. The mansion. As the manager, the protagonist interacts with residents like Kyoko in the office or their rooms, deepening relationships. Saikacho High School. Even during vacation, players can meet beautiful girls, classmates, and teachers such as Kiyomi. It's a place for chats and potential dates. The Live House. This location is central to the protagonist's ambition to become a professional musician. Players meet bandmates like Yasuhiro and Okusei here, and can perform after passing an audition, making it crucial for pursuing their dream. The page includes screenshots depicting interactions in these various locations, showcasing the game's visual novel style and the opportunities for different summer activities and relationships.
This page dives further into the world of Find Love 2 Rhapsody, showing you how to spend your summer vacation wisely in the expansive town of Saikacho. Beyond the key spots mentioned before, there are plenty of things to do. You can hang out in your room, relaxing after a long day, call the girls you're interested in, or check out the town's homepage for useful information. It's crucial to improve yourself too. You can hit the books to study, practice your guitar skills through a minigame to level up your music ability, and keep your appearance sharp, as your looks directly impact your charm and how girls perceive you. Communication is key, and the game features a video phone allowing face-to-face calls, which is a nice touch, but remember to be engaging, or you might get hung up on. The town's homepage is a vital resource, listing different places like restaurants, shops, and entertainment spots with their hours and details, essential for planning dates. Exploring Saikacho reveals many other locations. You can find girls at the game center, where you can play a familiar puzzle minigame and meet characters not featured in the main story. Other spots include the seal print shop to commemorate moments with stickers, a general store, shrine, the station, a boutique, park, club, and convenience store, each offering different encounters or opportunities. All these activities contribute to building your character and deepening your relationships, leading towards those intimate moments only shared between lovers. This page introduces us to Ruriro no Yuki, or Lapis Lazuli Colored Snow, a romance-adventure game from Kid. Set during winter break, the story begins when the protagonist finds himself living with someone unexpected after his father's passing, none other than Ruri, the titular snow woman. Despite her icy origins, Ruri seems to be a warm presence, even attempting to make hot food like Odin, which is apparently a challenge for her. The game isn't just about Ruri. It promises encounters with a variety of other girls, each with their own story routes. We get glimpses of these potential romantic interests, including Sakawa Yoko, seen here contemplating in the park with her pet cat Tama. Another scene shows a character engaged in what appears to be intense training in the rain, oddly enough, while wearing gym clothes. The game was 80% complete at the time this was published, aiming for a December 1998 release at 6,800 yen, and is recommended for players aged 18 and over, suggesting it delves into more mature themes standard for the genre on the platform. The development team notes progress is steady, with both Ruri and Yoko smiling and the staff hard at work, even rubbing their eyes. This page continues exploring Ruriro no Yuki, the romance-adventure game from Kid. We're introduced to more of the diverse cast the protagonist will encounter. Featured prominently is Hinomiya Ayaka, an exorcist who views all non-humans as enemies. Her text bubble highlights her initial confusion and targeting of Ruri, who lacks evil intent, and hints at a potential conflict involving a relative, even if he were a brother by blood. We also see Kazumura Wakaba, depicted in a basketball uniform, with text implying her skill from her former club days. Another scene shows Matsutani Miya enjoying ice cream with the protagonist. The accompanying text observes Ayaka witnessing this seemingly friendly moment, noting Ruri's simple desire for ice cream and the increasing visibility of her cohabitation with the protagonist. Finally, we see Okusato Yukina, implied to be Mana's mother, celebrating her daughter's 5th birthday with the protagonist and Ruri present. The text notes that in this setting, Ruri appears completely human, a fact no one would suspect. The page also includes a brief development diary,
detailing progress in mid-September 1998. It mentions eagerly awaiting the beta version, and the developer's excitement after finally meeting the character Ruri, anticipating seeing more of her as development nears completion. This page features Season, a romance-adventure game from Alpha and Kid, coming soon to SEGA Saturn. The game promises 4 distinct love stories, each set in a different season, delivered to your heart. This preview focuses specifically on the spring and summer segments. Gameplay is described as straightforward, involving selecting commands to advance through events and making choices at key moments. These choices are crucial as they influence the narrative and lead to multiple endings, encouraging replays and adding depth to the stories. Beyond the main game, there are enticing extras.
Clearing the game unlocks a CG gallery, allowing you to revisit your favorite event graphics. There's also a music mode where you can listen to the game's soundtrack. The page shows vibrant character artwork and screenshots of the gameplay interface, including command selection menus and decision points. It also provides a look at the bonus CG gallery and music player modes. The game is listed as 89% complete, with a planned release in November 1998, priced at 6,800 yen, and it's recommended for players 18 and older. It looks like a charming collection of seasonal romance tales, with solid adventure game mechanics and nice bonus features. The next page continues the look at Season, the romance-adventure game, diving deeper into the individual story arcs for spring and summer. The spring segment introduces the protagonist faced with a pivotal choice: pursue his dream of studying abroad, or respond to a confession from Ayaka, someone like a younger sister to him. His stepmother, Sachio, is wary of their closeness. The narrative highlights key events influenced by the player's choices, showing moments like Ayaka's emotional reappearance after getting lost in the rain, and interactions with other characters like Kyoka. Dialogue snippets give a taste of the character dynamics and emotional stakes. Moving into summer, the setting shifts to the bright, sunny sea. The protagonist is visiting with family, but finds himself alone with you. While attempting to enjoy the beach, they meet Natsume, a girl from a tea house, quickly forming a love triangle. The summary teases a significant event that occurs when the three venture to a deserted island, implying the plot heats up considerably. The descriptions mention Uena's contrasting appearance, being boyish normally but having an impressive figure in a swimsuit, and Natsume's forward personality. Dialogue examples reflect the developing relationships and tension. The page reinforces that this game offers distinct, dramatic romantic stories across different seasons. This page introduces the romance-adventure game, 6-Inch My Darling, developed by Kid and released in December 1998 for 5,800 yen. Rated for all ages, the game's premise, inspired by the Pygmalion myth, involves discovering small, doll-like girls who appear from a mysterious wooden box found after a graduation ceremony. These tiny companions aspire to become human, and the player must spend the next 15 days living with them while trying to keep their existence a secret. The page highlights one of the characters, identified as etc., described as modest, shy, and serious, often missing jokes. Despite her reserved nature, she's an incredibly fast reader. Screenshots illustrate the game's scenario, showing the miniature size of the girls in everyday settings, such as sitting on a couch, hiding behind furniture, or even wearing oversized costumes. The text notes that while etc. is generally quiet, she can be quite a handful when angered. The concept of interacting with these tiny, aspiring human dolls promises a charming and unique adventure experience. The upcoming romance-adventure game, Pygmalion, introduces 2 more Pygmalion girls: Pim, a boyish and energetic girl, and Minty, who wears a cat costume and speaks in a Kansai dialect. Both girls have distinct personalities and visual representations. The game also features supporting characters from the protagonist's daily life, including his childhood friend Kanako, a popular friend Kuichi, his unpredictable younger sister Miwa, and the PE teacher Kuichi, all posing potential risks to the Pygmalion's secret. Gameplay involves balancing work at the family liquor store with interacting with the girls to build trust within a 15-day period. Players will utilize a communication log to track interactions and mood shifts, with dialogue choices impacting events and the girls' reactions. This page is a feature on Magical Night Dreams, Cotton Boomerang for the SEGA Saturn, announcing its upcoming release. It provides key details. Releasing October 8th for 4,800 yen, it's a shooting game supporting 12 players and recommended for all ages. The core focus of the page is on the game's unique mechanics, particularly how to achieve high scores.
It highlights sealing enemies as the foundational element. Sealing can be done with a command shot for distant foes, or a punch for those up close.
Once sealed, enemies become crucial for further actions.
The page explains the chasing shot, a basic technique where hitting a sealed enemy with a shot increases your hit count and score. Hitting them against walls, or using specific items, enhances this. Crucially, the page emphasizes the chain reaction mechanic as the key to maximizing points. This involves using the catch ability to grab a sealed enemy, and then hitting an unsealed enemy with it, triggering a chain explosion. Mastering the catch to strategically deploy sealed enemies into groups of unsealed ones is presented as the primary method for huge scores and a signature element of the game. Screenshots illustrate these concepts, showing high hit counts and the explosive chain reactions.
Magical Night Dreams. Cotton Boomerang's next section details stages 4 and 5.
Stage 4, the Piki Labyrinth, is a frozen cave with ice pillars and the twin-headed Nikutama Dragon W boss. Stage 5, the Achichi Canyon, is a lava-filled area with changing scrolling directions and the Magma Nudo boss. The guide offers one-point techniques, including speed control via shot and action buttons for dodging.
Magic users can cancel and quickly recast spells.
A forward shot allows firing while holding enemies. Character profiles for Cotton, Apply, Silk, and Needle are provided. Cotton and Apply are balanced, Silk is fast, and Needle is a power type. Choosing a character based on these strengths impacts gameplay. This page features an in-depth look at the upcoming SEGA Saturn title, Roommate W. The page highlights a special interview with Satoru Yukio, the president of Datanuium Polystar, the game's publisher. He discusses the core concept behind the Roommate series, which aims to depict realistic human relationships and the subtle nuances of romance, moving beyond simple parameter management found in traditional dating simulations. The interview touches upon the birth of the series, emphasizing the complexity of people, especially women, and how the game attempts to capture that complexity through real-time communication elements. Mr. Yukio shares his philosophy on character design, focusing on creating relatable and appealing personalities. The page also includes illustrations of the two main female characters and briefly notes key details about the game. It's a real-time communication software developed by Datanuium Polystar, slated for release in the fall for 6,800 yen, recommended for all ages, and is a single-player experience. Development is 70% complete, and the team is focusing on enhancing visual variety. The next page dives further into the upcoming SEGA Saturn title, Roommate U, the fourth entry in the unique real-time communication series. Building on the established concept of experiencing life with a roommate, this installment significantly ups the ante by introducing two roommates, promising a much higher degree of drama and interaction. The page introduces the two central female characters, Kaori Sato, a nursing student depicted as the older sister type, and Yuko Yamaguchi, a high school girl with a slightly spoiled nature. Screenshots showcase interactions with these characters, including dialogue boxes typical of the series. Developer insights reveal the motivation behind increasing the roommate count to 2. The goal was to create a more enjoyable and complex experience, moving towards portraying deeper relationships and the nuanced emotional exchanges between the characters, even when the player isn't directly involved. This complexity, particularly in rendering the two girls interacting, posed visual and technical challenges, but was deemed crucial for enhancing realism and the game's dramatic elements. The interview touches on the game's pacing and the decision to count days based on the Saturn's internal clock, a staple of the series enhancing its real-time feel. Finally, there's a small section referencing Ryoko Inoue, the main character from previous Roommate titles, featuring illustrations from the first 3 games and promoting a calendar giveaway. This serves as a nod to the series' history. The next page showcases 2 classic Disney titles making their way to the Sega Ages collection. We have Quackshot starring Donald Duck and Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, both highly regarded action platformers from the Mega Drive era, now available on SEGA Saturn. Quackshot puts you in Donald's shoes as he embarks on a thrilling treasure hunt around the world after finding a map, joined by his nephews. You'll navigate various locales using Donald's unique gadgets, like the trusty plunger, to overcome obstacles and enemies. Collecting specific items is crucial for unlocking new paths and progressing through the adventure. The screenshots highlight the diverse environments you'll explore, and Donald's action-packed gameplay. Castle of Illusion features Mickey Mouse on a quest to rescue his beloved Minnie from the evil witch Mizrabel within her mysterious castle. To save Minnie, Mickey must brave the castle's enchanted rooms and collect 7 hidden jewels. The gameplay involves platforming, bouncing off enemies, and using items found in stages, such as apples, to defeat foes. The page also points out the imaginative and varied stage design, full of unique gimmicks to keep players on their toes. These ports bring 2 excellent Disney platformers to the SEGA Saturn library. This page showcases official guidebooks for 2 SEGA Saturn games. The first is the 96-page Virtua Striker 2 version 98 guide, priced at 1,200 yen. It offers gameplay tips, tactical information for all national teams, developer interviews, player profiles, and secret techniques. The second guide, also 1,200 yen, is for Shining Force 2i Scenario 3, Palace of the Frozen God. This 184-page book provides a comprehensive walkthrough for the final installment, including story details, character introductions, maps, enemy data, and hidden item locations. SoftBank in Tokyo published both guides, providing ordering information for bookstores and direct cash-on-delivery purchase. This page delves into Kido Senkan Nadeshiko, The Blank of 3 Years on SEGA Saturn, highlighting its unique gameplay mechanics. Described as more of a sound novel than a traditional adventure game, the story branches based on player choices and character relationships. A central feature is its high replayability. The scenario changes upon repeat plays, and hidden scenarios can only be unlocked by meeting specific conditions. Notably, the prologue sequence is different on the second playthrough onwards, presenting new choices and events. This is where players can collect Gekigen punch cards, adding a fun collector element. The game features multiple scenarios to clear, initially 4, with a 5th hidden one becoming accessible later. The guide emphasizes that only endings where the credits roll count as true completions. Bad endings simply lead back to the save screen. Screenshots showcase the game's options menu, a choice selection screen featuring Eureka, and key scenes. One section details how to obtain Gekigen punch cards by meeting characters like Urabatake in the hangar, answering questions correctly about Gekigen, or Fukube in the infirmary after an escape sequence. Another major draw is the Gekigen scenario, an original story set in a Gekigen theme park, featuring characters from the Gekigen universe and Nanako, offering a distinct fan service experience. Various characters are shown, including Akito, Uribatake, Fukube, and Nanako, alongside iconic Gekigen robots. The focus is clearly on encouraging players to replay the game multiple times to see all the branching paths and content, especially the Gekigen-related elements. This page delves into Scenario 5, The Secret of Gekigen City, and features a Gekigen character parade, outlining a specific branching path in the game Kido Senkan Nadeshiko, The Blank of 3 Years. The guide starts with the protagonist arriving at the spaceport in Gekigen City, a theme park built on the moon, looking for clues about his memory and encountering Gekigen characters. The walkthrough details key decision points. At the spaceport, a choice determines whether the protagonist meets Sapphire. Meeting her is highlighted as important, influencing later events, specifically which photo is shown at the restaurant. In town, choices dictate whether the protagonist meets Aquamarine. The path then leads to the hotel, where Akito and Eureka are encountered, and an audition is taking place. Finally, the scenario branches significantly at the tea house, depending on whether Sapphire, Aquamarine, or both were met earlier, leading to different interactions with Nanako and the Gekigen characters, affecting who the protagonist gets closer to. Regardless of earlier town choices, the path culminates in dinner with Reiji, Retz, at the restaurant. Here, the photo shown to Retz is either Nanako's or Sapphire's, based on the initial decision at the spaceport. The page emphasizes how these early choices create distinct paths and character interactions within this specific scenario. Screenshots show key moments with Sapphire, Aquamarine, Retz, and Nanako. This page covers the next steps in the Nadeshiko, The Blank of 3 Years guide, continuing from the events in Gekigen City. Following the dinner, the path branches depending on previous interactions. If you had successful encounters with Sapphire or Aquamarine, you attend a cosplay event featuring them at the costume department. Otherwise, if you didn't build affinity with them, you receive a rare Gekigen card instead. Regardless of which path you take, the situation quickly escalates. You are directed to the headquarters, where a character resembling Koichiru, appears just as an enemy, identified as a Kyotakian, suddenly attacks you. You are instructed to pilot a mecha to defend against the threat. Once in the cockpit, you must engage the enemy. But the encounter ultimately leads to a necessary boson jump to escape, revealing that Reitz was a member of the Jovian Lizard Special Forces. After returning, you are faced with an interview opportunity with a reporting team.
Accepting the interview leads you to meet Nanako at the hotel.
Refusing the interview allows you to choose who you meet instead from a list, potentially Sapphire or Aquamarine. This choice determines the characters who will accompany you to the next destination, Geekigan Land. The page highlights how these choices create different character interactions and party setups for future events. Screenshots show the cosplay event, the Geekigan card, the enemy mecha attack, the character resembling Koichiru, and the interview scene. This page continues the guide for Nadesico, the blank of 3 years, focusing on the potential romantic routes with the 3 main heroines, Sapphire, Aquamarine, and Nanako. Following the hotel events, depending on whether you accepted the interview, you either encounter Nanako with a warning or find Retz drunk. Your choices here, combined with those at the restaurant, determine which girl accompanies you to Geekigan Land. If you cultivated affinity with Sapphire or Aquamarine previously, they might join you. At Geekigan Land, the experience varies. If you're with Sapphire or Aquamarine, you can attend a fun cosplay event at the costume room, where they appear in different outfits like Sapphire's detective style or Aquamarine's nurse uniform. With Nanako, you skip the cosplay and immediately enter the crucial, passionate gaze time system, a key mechanic for developing relationships. This special moment allows you to deepen your connection with her. Screenshots show the cosplay looks, the passionate gaze time mechanics interface, and scenes from Geekigan Land, including the iconic Geekiganger statue. The section concludes with a strange event at the restaurant, where Retz appears noticeably different after being called away from Geekigan Land, setting up a mystery that leads into Disc 2 of the game. This page details the beginning of Scenario 3, titled, Memories Beyond the Horizon. Gather the crew of the Nadesico B. Following the events on Earth, the protagonist and Ruri are staying with Eureka's family. An intense argument between Eureka and her father leads her to run away, and the protagonist ends up joining the crew of the newly unveiled Nadesico B to help find her and gather the old crew. The journey begins with the Nadesico B unveiling party, where the primary objective is to talk to potential crew members. This involves extensive dialogue options with various characters like Eureka, Ruri, Minato, Yukina, Jun, and others. The guide notes that while most conversations don't change the outcome significantly, talking to everyone is key to progressing. There are specific interactions, such as teasing Yukina or discussing Jun's love life, that have unique responses. Suddenly, the party is interrupted by an enemy attack. The protagonist sorties in an Estivalis and engages in combat against the wooden robots. You must make weapon choices between the immediate knife and the wired fist, which affects the flow of the fight. Just when things look dire, the Nadesico B appears to save the day, a moment reminiscent of the anime's first episode. This event solidifies the protagonist's place on the Nadesico B as the mission to gather the crew begins in earnest. Screenshots show scenes from Eureka's home, the party, the combat interface, and the Nadesico B arriving. This guide continues the SEGA Saturn game, Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years. The player awakens injured and navigates initial dialogue with Ruri and Yukina, impacting their reactions. The crew search mission involves persuading characters like Megumi, Hikaru, and Yuribatake. A strategy meeting on the Nadesico B follows, leading to a partner selection: Eureka, Minato, and Yukina, or Jun. Each choice drastically changes the gameplay. The Minato and Yukina and Eureka routes involve the TV station and Yuribatake, featuring special photo services and encounters with Izumi and Megumi. The Jun route emphasizes accessing the TV station. Finally, the bridge mission assignment, influenced by previous choices, determines the next step, either retrieving Ryoko from the moon base or staying on the Nadesico B, significantly branching the story onto Disc 2. The guide includes screenshots of key scenes. This page continues the guide for Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years, focusing on a specific route titled Scenario 4, the distant star you aim for. This path centers around Megumi's dream of becoming an idol, with the protagonist thrust into the role of her manager despite initial reluctance. The guide outlines the branching story progression, starting from Megumi's idol debut at the office. Player choices throughout this scenario drastically alter the events that unfold. You navigate Megumi's capricious demands in the dressing room, potentially encountering Hikaru in town for advice, or even traveling to Okinawa, where you meet the idol group JMR and reconnect with Mikafako, experiencing some intense moments. The page highlights the significant impact of your decisions, showing paths that lead to bad endings, such as being coerced by Megumi in jail, or ending up living a miserable life like a slave. Alternatively, consulting with Akito at a stall offers another turn in the narrative. Ultimately, the guide details the events upon returning to the office, whether you went to Okinawa or not, presenting further choices that determine the final outcome of this storyline. Several screenshots illustrate key moments with characters like Megumi, Mikako, Hikaru, and Akito, giving a visual sense of this particular branch of the game. This guide explores the branching paths in Martian Successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, focusing on the protagonist's interactions with Mikako and Megumi. The player's choices influence the story, leading to diverse events. Mikako's route involves a date, potentially including cosplay, influenced by past events and leading to passionate moments. Megumi's path covers her idol career, detailing events like the idol swim meet, where choices affect the outcome with Asami and her manager. The guide also covers the photobook release press conference and interactions with the rival JMR group, with choices leading to various outcomes. Other routes include office moments with Megumi and a reunion at an izakaya depending on prior choices. The player's decisions shape character relationships and ultimately affect the story's progression, leading to potential bad endings or progression to the next game disc. This page introduces the visual novel Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, focusing on the character Jun Kagurazaka. The game, developed by NEC Interchannel and released on October 8 for 7,200 yen, is a simulation adventure with an 18+ rating. The central mystery revolves around Jun, a waiter described as interesting. Despite being male, Jun has a slender build and sometimes acts girlish, leading to confusion. The text highlights Jun's arrival a week before the protagonist and their friendly demeanor. Screenshots depict Jun in various scenarios, including working at the restaurant and at an amusement park. Dialogue such as, "It's not big sister, it's big brother," and "boys together" fuels the uncertainty surrounding Jun's identity, leaving the player intrigued by their ambiguous nature and the developing story. This page highlights the return of Rumi Kinoshita in Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. Known to players of the first game as a waitress at the original Pia Carrot restaurant, Rumi is now presented as a splendid lady after 4 years. The text comments on her personality, noting that while she's grown, some of her lively traits are still present. It also mentions that the protagonist's older brother, who is the main character of the first game, finds her reminiscent of his younger self, and has a keen interest in her. Players should be aware that Rumi can sometimes be surprisingly bold. The page is visually centered around a large image of Rumi in a wedding dress, symbolizing her significant life step, alongside several smaller screenshots showing her interactions with the protagonist, Kunosuke, and other characters like Misaki and Yusuke, providing a glimpse into her role in the new game. This page is part 3 of the extensive strategy guide for Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. It focuses on the early game strategy for 2 key heroines, Hinomori Azusa and Hinomori Mina, providing detailed daily action guides for the first 2 weeks. For Hinomori Azusa, the guide highlights that she requires high parameters, making her route challenging. A key strategy is to prioritize visiting her room in the morning. If she's not there, you can still gain ability points. The guide specifically mentions jogging early on to boost stamina. For Hinomori Mina, she's described as an easier character to clear compared to Azusa. The main focus for her route is studying. The guide advises paying close attention to study events, specifically on August 5th and 10th, and calling her twice afterwards. The accompanying tables detail suggested daily shifts, like waiter, cooking, or cashier, for the first 2 weeks to manage stats and events for each character. Additionally, the page includes important notes regarding early game events. It cautions against attending the August 1st party unless you are specifically targeting Ryuko or Akioi, as it consumes valuable morning action time. It also mentions the August 13th trip, noting that possessing a driver's license allows you to drive and unlock CGS, featuring Ryuko and a Plameoi. Screenshots show Azusa enjoying a drink and Ryuko and Akeoi together. This page continues the strategy guide for Welcome to Pia. 2. Focusing on the early game routes for Futaba Ryuko and Minaseoi. For Ryuko, the guide emphasizes raising her affection by visiting her room and improving her appearance and academic ability, suggesting jobs like cleaning, waiter, and cooking in the first 2 weeks. Akoki requires increasing her appearance and guts/persistence, also by visiting her room, with recommended jobs including waiter, cooking, cashier, and dishwashing. Both characters have daily action tables provided to guide parameter growth. The guide also highlights the Tamaran fortune teller, who can provide helpful information and special tickets. Finally, there is a detailed section on participating in the crucial August 13th-15th C-Trip event, warning players that selecting rest instead of move when returning to their room at night is a pitfall that will cause them to miss the event. Screenshots show Ryuko cleaning, Aoi at an arcade, a character status screen, and scenes from the C-Trip, including the ghost story and fireworks events. This page continues the strategy guide for Welcome to Pia. 2. Offering tips for key characters and revealing some fun in-game features. A cool detail is that when loading a save, the heroine with the highest affection will give you a cheering message, like the one shown here saying, "Ehe heart big brother, good luck with your part-time job today too." This helps remind you who you were focusing on. The guide covers early game strategies for Tsukasa Enomoto and Sanae Anishi. For Tsukasa, the focus is on raising her appearance and academic ability, primarily by visiting her room. Early jobs should include waiter and cooking, transitioning to cashier in the second week. Remember to get 3 stuffed animals from the Game Center by August 8th for a special event. For Sanae, the goal is to boost her guts and stamina. The key action is jogging with her, and the recommended early game job is strictly dishwashing. You'll want to call her around 2 p.m. after her shift to meet up. And don't forget to arrange a date during the Obon holiday. The page also highlights the variety of minigames within the game. These include Tarot the Cupid of Love, a unique short story featuring a stuffed animal, a slot game where you win medals for rewards, and a number matching puzzle, like the 15 puzzle, with different difficulties and prizes. These minigames add extra replayability and goals beyond the main character routes. This guide focuses on the Saturn version of Welcome to Pia. 2. Highlighting features like a backscroll function and easier CG collection. It offers strategies for 3 heroines, Mikiko, Haru, and Tomomi. For Mikiko, prioritize guts and academic ability, work dishwashing, cleaning, and waiter shifts, and visit her workplace frequently. Getting her phone number on August 8th is crucial. With Haru, focus on appearance. Visit the park in the morning and afternoon to interact with her and Kaoru-chan. Early jobs should include waiter and cooking. For Tomomi, build appearance and stamina. Cleaning shifts are important. Secure her phone number on August 9th, then continue with cleaning. This page features a guide for Slayers Royal 2. It details the party's journey to the 3rd Seal Tower, located near Amolphus Mountain. The guide highlights 2 key towns encountered along the way, Milhain and Levenberg, mentioning the types of shops available in each, such as weapon shops, item shops, and taverns, and noting specific interactions, like meeting the blacksmith Philip in Milhain. The main focus is on the 3rd Seal Tower itself. A diagram illustrates the tower's structure, showing an entrance on the 1st floor, stairs leading up, and Alicia, located on the 3rd floor. The guide notes that this tower is unusual because there are no difficult guardians or significant treasure, emphasizing the need to quickly defeat Alicia to obtain the seal orb from the rooftop. The page also covers information gathering through elf stories, showing screenshots of conversations in a plaza and a tavern, where the party learns about the history of elves and Amolphas and the purpose of the towers. Finally, it depicts the party parting ways with Zelgadis, who heads to Dolthout to gather intelligence on the remaining towers, spurred by Lena's anger over a treasure taken centuries ago. This page features the arrival of everyone's favorite, overly enthusiastic heroine, Amelia will Tesla se ruin, in Slayers Royal 2. After parting with Zelgadis, Lena and Guri encounter Amelia, who, due to a misunderstanding likely related to the recurring imposter Lena's, believes our heroes are villains. This section highlights her signature righteousness and tendency for dramatic entrances, even featuring a classic diving attack. The guide details the initial confrontation, a brief battle where Amelia and her guards must be faced. It warns players about her guards, recommending area effect spells like Blast Bomb to thin their numbers quickly, before focusing on Amelia herself. Following the fight, the misunderstanding is cleared up, and Amelia joins the party. Her expertise in white magic makes her invaluable for healing and support, reforming the iconic four-person team alongside Lena, Guri, and eventually Zelgadis. The bottom of the page includes a strategy chart outlining the next steps, moving through locations like Milhain, northern Reynarto, the northern mountains, and Levenberg, ultimately leading to the city of Reynarto. Suggesting a journey through the Reynarto kingdom is the focus of the upcoming guide sections. This page dives into 5 juicy secrets for the SEGA Saturn simulation RPG Black Matrix. It kicks off by revealing how to unlock Zero, a hidden character referred to as another master, by entering a specific button command when a certain message appears. This adds a whole new perspective to the game.
Next up is the lowdown on the hidden proficiency system. This isn't just some minor stat. It's a secret parameter that can boost your character's abilities by up to a massive 200%. The guide explains how different actions increase proficiency for various stats like strength, intelligence, dexterity, and vitality. The third secret unveils how to find a hidden shop. Located by repeatedly talking to a merchant in specific areas like the streets of Pandemonium and Diabolos, this shop stocks unique items you won't find anywhere else, making it super valuable for powering up your team. Secret number 4 details how to recruit Fitum, the 9th sub-character. Found in Chapter 9 in the city of Diabolos, she joins your party after a simple conversation and comes equipped with the unique zombie dance skill at level 5. Finally, the page lets you in on how to actually see these hidden proficiency stats. Once the character party joins your party in advanced mode, you can check the proficiency levels for each character by pressing the Z button while viewing their status screen. This page gives players some serious insider tips to uncover hidden content and mechanics, essential for mastering Black Matrix. This page provides a comprehensive list of magic spells available in the simulation RPG Black Matrix. Expanding on the previous page's secrets, it details the effects of various spells, including both common ones like Zombie and Light Cross, and hidden, behind-the-scenes magic, like Ifrit and Gunzunro. The guide explains 2 key concepts for magic. Quote, drop range, which dictates where the spell can be targeted relative to the caster, and, quote, effect range, showing how far the spell's effect spreads from the targeted point, illustrated with helpful grid diagrams. The main feature is a detailed table listing each spell by name, its elemental attribute, darkness, light, fire, thunder, water, BP cost, drop range, and effect range. Crucially, it provides a brief description of each spell's effect, from status ailments like poison and petrification, to damage spells and support abilities like HP and status recovery. Powerful spells like Thanatos, Ifrit, which summons the entity, and Gunzunro are also included, detailing their high costs and devastating effects. The table gives players a clear understanding of the magic system's depth and strategic possibilities. This page announces a special campaign from SoftBank, celebrating over 2.5 million copies sold of their SEGA official strategy guide series. The campaign offers readers a chance to win prizes by purchasing eligible guides during the period from September to the end of November 1998. Prizes include a Puyo Puyo and Madu Monogatari card collection, 50 winners, the Atsumete Godzilla, Kaiju Daishugo handheld game, 100 winners, and special telephone cards, 1,000 winners. Sample images of the Puyo Puyo cards featuring characters like Arle Nadja and Satan, and the Godzilla handheld, are shown. The page also lists upcoming SEGA official guides covered by the campaign. Titles scheduled for September release include guides for Denu Senki Virtualon, Oratorio Tangram, strategy and art guides for Sakura Wars 2, and a guide for Virtua Striker 2 Ver 98. October brings guides for Shining Force 2 Eyes Scenario 3, a Sakura Wars OVA fanbook, and a guide for the J-League Pro Soccer Club wo Tsukuru 2 game. A complete guide for Denu Senki Virtualon, Oratorio Tangram, is listed for November. To enter, readers had to use an application ticket found within the target books, attach it to a postcard, and mail it in. Prizes were selected by lottery, and winners were notified by delivery. This page is part of the Look Elf segment, and announces the upcoming Windows 95/98's release of the RPG Wordsworth. This version is a port of the original PC 98 game, but
but is being completely revamped, featuring new character art, realistic polygon graphics for dungeons and battles, and significantly rearranged scenarios and events, making it feel like a new title. The story is introduced, set in a world divided between the Tribe of Light and the Tribe of Shadow, who lived peacefully until the destruction of the Wordsworth stone tablet triggered a conflict lasting over a century. This war devastated the Tribe of Light's underground city and drove the Tribe of Shadow below ground. The protagonist is a young boy embarking on an adventure, revealed to be the beloved son of the Tribe of Shadow's king. Visuals on the page include illustrations depicting the century-long battle, characters like a skeletal figure questioning the conflict, and fighters seemingly battling against fate. The developers promise more details and visuals in future updates, highlighting the extensive renewal effort on the game. This page of Hello! Capcom Volume 61 focuses on limited merchandise from the recent JAMA show, specifically highlighting goods for the game Tech Romancer. It features details on a Tech Romancer rough and draft artwork collection, and includes a photo of the merchandise stand. The page also includes a segment showcasing fan-submitted illustrations in Big Rush's room. An interim report for the popular character contest is presented, showing Sakura currently leading the polls, followed by Ryu and Senko. Notably, the previous leader, Chun-Li, is no longer at the top, and Felicia is listed at the very bottom of the rankings. Information on the voting rules for the contest is included, along with details on a giveaway offering some of the featured Tech Romancer limited goods. This page features an interview with Capcom's Yoshikaki Okamoto and Noritaka Funamizu from the AM Show report. They discuss the titles showcased by Capcom. Funamizu highlights Tech Romancer first. Okamoto mentions plans to port JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, though the specific hardware is undecided, and notes that in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you fight with your stand, essentially controlling two characters at once. They also mention Street Fighter 2-1. Third Strike is in development. Okamoto feels the arcade scene is finally getting lively again, while Funamizu feels good about it too, mentioning they are working hard. The page also includes Shaiki Akimoto's American Comic Lecture, Volume 17, focusing on Thor, the Mighty Avenger, as he appeared as a support character in Marvel vs. Capcom. The article describes him as a major name in Marvel Comics, highlighting his power and association with thunder, flight, and tornadoes, noting these abilities were similar to Storm, which affected his inclusion as a playable character in Marvel superheroes. It discusses his Norse mythology origins and comic book portrayal, including his banishment to Earth by Odin and learning humility. The article also touches upon the cosmic nature of Asgardians in the comic universe, suggesting their advanced science is often mistaken for magic. There's a photo showing staff and a person in Chun-Li cosplay at the Capcom booth. This page focuses on Tech Romancer, a 3D action game from Capcom, highlighted at the recent AM show. The game boasts a different feel compared to traditional fighting games, featuring simplified controls designed for accessibility, although mastering them is key to victory. Basic operation involves an 8-way lever and 4 buttons, A-B for attack, J for jump, and G for guard. Players can also use the Start button to select various items for recovery, ability enhancement, or weapons. Key mechanics include high-speed movement and the Steel Dash, which allows players to negate incoming attacks while closing distance. The Power Break, A+B, is a crucial move to pierce opponents' guards, creating openings for further damage. Evade attacks, G+A or B, offer defensive maneuvers combined with offensive potential, while grapple attacks are resolved through button mashing after close-range collisions. The page then details the command lists for several key robots. The titular Kikayo, Dixon, Raiden, referred to as Ryfarga, and Soldier. These lists outline their normal attacks, special moves, super special moves, and unique final attacks. Notably, Raiden and Soldier feature transformation abilities, adding another layer to their gameplay. The powerful final attacks are limited to 1 use per match, but can decisively turn the tide. Learning these specific commands for each robot is vital, as despite the simplified inputs, mistimed moves can be costly. The commands listed are for when the robot is facing left, and are mirrored when facing right. This page features an interview with Tech Romancer producer Takayuki Hanano, conducted at Ariake Big Sight on September 17, 1998, likely following up on the game's appearance at the AM show discussed on the previous page. Hanano shares insights into the game's reception, noting the positive feedback and how quickly players picked up the controls despite the game's depth. He emphasizes the rich world and detailed settings created for each robot, expressing his hope that players will dedicate time to mastering their favorite machines. The page includes photos from the event and a portrait of the producer. Below the interview, command lists similar to those on the previous page are provided for 6 additional robots: Wise Duck, Diana 17, Poland, Twin Zam V, covering both forms, and Palshan, detailing their various attacks and special moves. This page takes us to the JAMA show, specifically focusing on the SNK booth, which was a major draw. The report highlights the excitement around new titles like the Saturn port of Samurai Shodown 2, Asura Zanmaden, a fantastic entry in the series, and the hugely popular King of Fighters 98. The booth was packed with fans, eager to play the new games and catch the stage events. One notable event was a public recording for the Neo Ochubi radio show, featuring voice actors from the Fatal Fury series, generating a lot of buzz. There was also a KOF 98 tournament that drew skilled players from across Japan, showcasing intense competitive battles. Slank's presence included displays of their Hyper Neo Geo 64 hardware and various merchandise like mousepads and postcards. A bonus section even shows Mr. Umemoto from SNK on stage demonstrating Samurai Shodown. The page also includes a section called Hyper Freaks, featuring reader-submitted illustrations, showcasing fan art for series like Samurai Shodown. Details are provided on how readers can submit their own artwork digitally. Overall, it paints a vibrant picture of Stink's strong showing at JAMA, celebrating their popular fighting games and engaging with their dedicated fanbase. This page highlights Sega AM2's Daytona USA 2 at the Amusement Machine Show, showcasing the game's impressive features and popularity. Running on Model 3 Step 2 hardware, the racing game supports up to 16 players. A secret maniac technique lets players fire beams at robotic vehicles on the intermediate course with precise timing. Screenshots depict the intense racing and visual effects, adding to the excitement. Takenobu Mitsuyoshi, the composer and vocalist of the Daytona USA series, performed a live set for fans at the Sega booth. He played tracks like Slingshot, I Can Do It, and Skyscraper Sequence, along with a remix of Pounding Ravement. The game also includes Mitsuyoshi's version of the background music as a hidden feature, offering a similar experience to the live performance. This page shifts gears to another exciting arcade title from Sega's AM Labs, Dirt Devils, developed by AM3 and running on the powerful Model 3 hardware, just like Daytona USA 2 featured previously. This isn't your typical clean race. Dirt Devils is an intense off-road racer built around competitive multiplayer combat, where smashing into rivals is key to victory. The game promises radical American-style action with up to 4 players battling it out on various dirt tracks. There are 5 distinct vehicles to choose from, each with unique handling and characteristics, including ones based on real-world designs like the Humvee and a Toyota race truck. The cabinet itself is just as flashy as the gameplay, featuring eye-catching lights. The magazine highlights the game's focus on physical contact and encourages players to try out all the different machines to find their favorite style. Dirt Devils was slated for an October 1998 release, bringing a new brand of chaotic fun to arcades. This page delves into the exciting courses and features of Dirt Devils, the off-road arcade racer. It highlights 3 distinct courses: the beginner-friendly canyon, a high-speed track through sand and rocks resembling the Grand Canyon, the intermediate stadium, a figure-8 layout filled with dynamic obstacles and featuring a massive jump where the track intersects, and the expert desert, which transitions from a sandy wilderness to tight city streets, offering challenging turns and impressive changing scenery from sunset to night. The page also points out the importance of mastering the game's 4 different camera views, from a low-angle perspective to a driver's view and 2 rear views, each offering a unique way to experience the race. Finally, it touches upon the game's positive reception at the recent AM show, noting the crowded multi-cabinet setup and the excitement for the competitive, physical racing action, confirming the game's setting is based on the American Southwest. This page presents an interview regarding Sega's Star Wars Trilogy arcade. It features Kenji Sasaki, the chief designer for the game and manager of AM12 Research, who explains the vision behind the project. The main goal is to allow players to become the protagonist of the Star Wars movies, aiming for a harmonious blend of cinematic feel and game interaction. Sasaki discusses the motivation for choosing Star Wars, citing strong staff interest, which led to a successful pitch video. He notes the challenge of making their arcade title stand out from other Star Wars games, emphasizing the concept of full player immersion across different iconic scenes. The game structure is designed to incorporate various gameplay types, such as X-Wing missions and lightsaber battles, letting players experience the saga from the hero's viewpoint. Development is estimated to be about 40% complete, with some stages still needing implementation. Sasaki reflects on the game's reception at the recent AM show, acknowledging that while stage variation was limited at that point, the powerful Star Wars name generated significant excitement, reinforcing the need to create a game worthy of the title. The page includes a screenshot showing familiar TIE fighters and the Death Star trench run, alongside a photo of Kenji Sasaki. Kenji Sasaki discusses the development of Sega's Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. The team is focused on balancing gameplay, fine-tuning mechanics, adding stages, and refining the lightsaber combats. While the core gameplay loop is strong, they're adding features like intricate scoring and the event button for replayability. Sound design is a major focus, aiming for an immersive experience.
Cabinet design prioritizes an open style for the U.S. market, though an enclosed design was considered. The goal is to balance fidelity to the Star Wars films with engaging gameplay. Screenshots reveal a chaotic battle and the Death Star trench run, showcasing detailed cinematic recreations. The game utilizes the Naomi board, offering greater design flexibility. The release is planned for winter, with more from AM12 research to follow. Readers are invited to submit questions. This page is a promotional page for GameSpot Japan, an online source for the latest gaming news. It promises daily updates with hot information about games, all available for free. The site covers various areas, including comprehensive game news updated every weekday, and reports on major weekend events, incorporating translated reports on PC games from their U.S. partner sites. Featured sections include reviews that highlight popular games, particularly focusing on PC titles. There are also interviews with well-known game creators, voice actors, and other notable figures from the industry. The site features columns from leading journalists covering the gaming scene, and even diaries about producing game-related garage kits. A links section provides access to the homepages of over 300 game manufacturers. The page highlights an upcoming special feature dedicated to the Tokyo Game Show 98 Fall, which was scheduled for October 9th to 11th. This special coverage promises to delve into the new era of the Japanese game industry, including details about Sega's new Dreamcast hardware and its integration with the internet. GameSpot Japan aimed to provide extensive, up-to-the-minute reports from the event, allowing readers to experience the excitement of the show floor remotely. The site was sponsored by ZDNet Japan, SoftBank, and Comic Depart. This page effectively promotes GameSpot Japan as a comprehensive resource for Japanese game enthusiasts looking for the latest news and insights. This page features a weekly horoscope titled This Week's Mother Hakozaki, covering the period from October 2nd to October 8th. The fortune teller, known as Mother Hakozaki, is introduced as having been in the field for over 20 years and recently consulted by staff from the magazine's editorial department. The page highlights this week's lucky person, represented by a character illustration, and provides specific advice for them across different areas of fortune. Money luck warns against miscounting bills, health luck suggests there shouldn't be any major issues, work/study luck advises focusing on key points for efficiency, and love luck mentions new connections through introductions from friends. The main section presents horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs, from Aries to Pisces, separated for males and females. Each entry includes a small animal illustration representing the sign, and a brief prediction for the week. These illustrations serve as a visual indicator of the overall fortune level, explained by a simple key at the bottom using colored squares. Red for excellent condition, yellow for normal, and blue for not so good. The horoscopes offer concise advice and insights for the week ahead for each group. This page showcases reader-submitted extreme hidden techniques for SEGA Saturn games, ranked and awarded prizes. The focus is on unusual discoveries. The first technique involves Hatsukoi Monogatari, allowing players to see all 8 endings in a single playthrough. This requires precise schedule management, focusing on character affection, strategic gift-giving, and specific dialogue choices, culminating in Liliana enabling the ending selection. The second technique details a powerful, deadly combo for Black/Matrix. It involves positioning units with counter abilities on opposite sides of an enemy. By attacking an adjacent friendly unit, both counters trigger, repeatedly damaging the sandwiched enemy. This tactic is effective even against bosses. The page also encourages submissions, emphasizing originality and quality in the provided hidden techniques. This page is a weekly software review feature,
covering games releasing soon. It includes comments from female users, staff writers, and guest writers, offering diverse perspectives.
Featured here are reviews for Welcome to Pia
2 and Cotton Boomerang. Welcome to Pia 2 is presented as a simulation/adventure game. Reviewers praise its high production quality, beautiful graphics, and voice acting, noting the strength of the story and character interactions, particularly the variety of heroines. While some wish for more depth, the overall consensus highlights its enjoyable dating simulation aspects.
Cotton Boomerang, a horizontal scrolling shooter, is also reviewed.
The reviews focus on the changes from the previous game, particularly the new punch system used for clearing bullets and setting up chain reactions. Reviewers find the game more difficult than its predecessor, but enjoy the exhilarating chain combos made possible by the new system. They note the transition from arcade and the removal of some Saturn-specific modes from the previous port, but find the core shooting and chain gameplay satisfying. This page showcases a generous reader-present campaign from SEGA Saturn Magazine. The information section touches on the current buzz in the game industry, highlighting the rapid flow of news amidst a rush of new title announcements, including a mention of a delayed Dreamcast release causing anticipation. The page also lists the magazine's extensive staff. The main feature is the reader-present section, detailing various prizes readers can win by applying via postcard. The prizes include SEGA Saturn-compatible software, pictured with an image of Sega Rally 2, but the prize category is General Software, copies of the action RPG Soul Divide, a poster set for friends, Seishun no Kagayaki, commemorative round fans featuring Taito's arcade games like Operation Tiger and Shanghai Heat, and official guidebooks for the popular fighting game Fighting Vipers 2. Images of these prizes and games are displayed. Additionally, the page announces the winners from the previous issue's present campaign, listing names of those who won various prizes like SEGA Saturn software, soundtrack suites, keychains, and accessories. Finally, it provides the release date for the next issue and contact information for magazine inquiries. This page is an advertisement for the SEGA Saturn romance adventure game Shizaen. The prominent image features 4 cheerful anime-style girls, one of whom is holding a cute green penguin plush toy. The game is rated 18 years and older, described as a romance adventure. The text on the page evokes the passage of seasons, mentioning spring encounters and partings, summer's hot temptation, autumn's fierce battle, and winter's loneliness and heartache, hinting at the emotional journey players will experience. Shizen was scheduled for release on November 19th, with a provisional price of 6,800 yen, excluding tax. As a bonus, a reservation campaign was underway, offering a special aluminum business card case as a free present. The game was developed by Kindle Imagine Develop. This page announces the release of the highly popular arcade train simulation game Densha de Go! X on SEGA Saturn. This version brings the authentic train driving experience home, featuring famous routes from across Japan, including the iconic Yamanote Line and the challenging Keihinto-Hoku Line and Tokaido Main Line. Exclusive to the SEGA Saturn, players can test their skills in adverse conditions with the addition of snowy weather scenarios. The game is a faithful port of the Arcade X version and includes an original arrangement of the theme song. For the most immersive experience, a dedicated Densha de Go! Controller is available, and the game is even compatible with the Dinovisor head-mounted display. The page also includes a brief mention of the Tokyo Game Show '98 autumn event.